A good Thursday morning to everyone around the Delaware Valley. I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike Missanelli today. Alongside me today, Amy Fadul. Amy, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well. Happy early Independence Day weekend.
Yes, happy 4th of July Eve.
Yes, perfect.
Can we make that a thing?
There's fireworks that are happening tonight all over. So.
All over, yeah. And last night there were.
Yes.
I did not stay.
No?
We can get into that later. I've seen fireworks before.
I saw your social media posts on this. I was disappointed because I'm specifically going to a game tonight to see fireworks up in Lehigh Valley.
That's wonderful, as you should. If you want to see the fireworks, you should by all means see the fireworks. The fireworks for me were seeing two Phillies outfielders hit home runs.
All right.
In the same game.
Duly noted.
Something that hasn't happened, I believe, since March.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's been a real dearth out there as far as power bats.
So that was nice. They win 5-1 last night. Brendan Gunn produced the show today. The Phillies get the victory, and they split the doubleheader. And the first game, naturally, brings a little bit more fodder for us than the second game, because the second game, you look at it, you say, hey, rotation does its job one more time.
Right.
They made it at least far enough where even the little scare you have with, is Kirkring going to give up any runs? It's such a nice gap between the two teams. You don't really need to. The outfielders did their job. So it was beautiful, honestly. For me at the ballpark last night for that game.
Beautiful night. It
was a conversation Andrew Salciunas had earlier in the week. Can you just sit and enjoy a ball game? I did. I sat there. I enjoyed a ball game. I was like, this was nice.
And then you left.
And I left. I didn't watch the fireworks. I'm sorry. My bad on that one, I guess. That's not why I went to the game. Brendan Gunn yesterday, well, you can skip plans with a friend if you're going for the fireworks instead of just going for the game. No, I'm just going for the game. I like baseball. But the question that really comes to my mind, because I'm watching yesterday afternoon, and obviously they take 2 or 3 from the Padres. They beat another good baseball team, another team that I think some people saw it in that game, even though their bullpen did give up a few runs. The one thing that concerns me about if you get into a postseason series with the Padres is that bullpen for them.
Yes.
And if they're able to match your starting pitching, I don't think you can match them in the bullpen. And I'm not sure that's a gap you can even close at this point between the two sides with the bullpens. So you saw it a little bit in the afternoon where the Padres get the win, but they take another good series against another good team. And I think at this point, we can all accept where they are in the National League. It's the Dodgers, and then the Phillies fall into the tier of everyone that hopes the Dodgers aren't healthy and they can catch them at the right time.
Something falls off.
So that I think we can kind of put aside. Everyone, I said yesterday that I wouldn't let Harper's health impact the way I approach the deadline. I saw comments on our Instagram that were like, what do you mean championship window? It's over. I think you all could still say we're still competing here in Philadelphia.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm not even going to open up that as a topic for today.
Record-wise in the national, like right now, if the playoffs started right now, they'd be the 2 seed.
Those overreactions I just put to the side. The overreactions I didn't from yesterday. On both ends of the spectrum about Mick Abel.
Oh, the Mick.
We're going to get into bad base running and Bryce Harper taking a night off. We'll get into that later on. That's coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. But to start with Mick Abel, I need to begin by addressing the folks that were pretty much saying he's untouchable after 3 starts of his career.
No, there was no.
There were people.
After the first start of his career, I thought, well, now is when you trade him. I love the Mick.
Exactly what I thought. But the people that thought he was untouchable after 3 starts, I need you to come back to reality and realize he is a young pitcher that is going through the process of growing into his game. He is good. He was never as good as you first thought he was against the bad lineups he faced in those first 3 starts.
Right.
And to now the other side here that has decided he has no trade value left because they watched him go an inning and 2/3, walk 5 guys and allow 5 runs. He is still tradable, okay?
Yeah, he's not as bad as that start, I think, would say. I think he's still figuring a lot of things out. I think he needs to work with a lot more of we talked about the tipping pitches before. I think he's working with that. The thing is, people have got a book on him now, so he needs to adjust. He's, made 8 starts?
Yeah. And I think you're seeing a little bit of also what he was last year in the minor leagues, where he stopped going after guys because he was worried he couldn't get them out.
Right.
And once you stop attacking the hitters, and the hitters stop attacking, just start taking the base.
And I talked to him about that when he made a start and then he went back to Lehigh Valley before he's called back up again. And I was like, what changed for you? And he's like, I used to be thinking, because he had a terrible season last year by any stretch, certainly by his own standards in the minor leagues. And he's like, I was trying to think about 5 or 6 things, and then I just needed to think about 1 or 2. So he talked with Caleb Cawthon. He talked with some of the other pitching coaches when they were in spring training, and he tried to hone in on that. And obviously he had been doing quite well, and I think he still has that capability. But old habits do die hard, and you wonder if he hasn't, as you mentioned, harken back to some of that did get him into trouble. Be like, all right, now I'm getting kind of tense. I'm just going to try to just throw it over the plate and just hope, instead of really trying to take a breath a little bit and just relax.
And from that, we need him to get back to, again, the basics that you're talking about. And there's also the question of, is that at the major league level? Will he do that at the major league level? So I have two questions for people to start out here. And you can answer both of them. I think you've answered part of one of them already here. One, do you believe the Phillies missed the boat on trading Abel? Because those of you that do, I want to talk you off the ledge today. Because all of a sudden, he went from the greatest asset they've ever had to a guy that can never be moved. I'm scrolling Twitter, going back and forth between people that are like, he's got no more trade value. This guy stinks. Like, it's 6 starts in. After 3 starts, and there were people that were saying, I wouldn't move him. There's no way you can move a guy like this, which also he doesn't fit into the long-term plans here, but whatever. I'm not even going to go down that path. Did they miss the boat on trading Abel? Which I think both of us here can say absolutely not, because much like many people could say when they're out there in the Dayton world, there's someone out there that's going to say, we could fix him.
Yeah.
And there's a president out there that says, we could fix him. We could fix that 23-year-old. He's got good velocity on his fastball.
Good for us.
He's got a couple of good off-speed pitches that we could work with. There's someone out there that believes they could fix him, and that he doesn't need that much fixing right now. He had a couple of bad starts here where he's just getting used to the major league level. So to me, they have not missed the boat on trading him. All of you that lost your mind, I think a lot of you overvalued him to begin with.
Right.
Like I go back to the Jim Bowden article that came out a couple weeks ago, where it's like he's going to get you Bautista and Mullins. It's like,
I don't know if rich.
I don't know if the Abel for Bautista trade straight up was going to be something there. Mullins might be a throw in there just because he's an expiring contract for a team.
And that was the thing.
But to me, I think we started to overvalue him as a fan base. And now we've swung so far the other way where we're undervaluing him. I'm trying to bring a little bit of calm here. And the second question I want to bring in, how much longer of a major league runway does he have after yesterday? How would you address this rotation in the immediate, given where he's at and given where Arnola is? Because for me, he makes his next start. There's no question.
Abel, yes.
Abel. We're going into the All-Star break. He makes his next start. Once he finishes that start, you send him down. You build a bigger bullpen there for the end of that stretch going into the Padres series. He's back down there. He can work through things throughout the All-Star break at the Major League level, and then you reassess post-All-Star break.
See, I don't know. See, I was thinking about this quite a bit because I am going to the Iron Pigs game tonight, and because it's fireworks night.
Absolutely.
Great. Good times. It's interesting because they should have a certain starting pitcher tonight based on everything he's done this entire season. He's pitched on the 6th day. This would be Andrew Painter's 6th day.
Were these tickets not just purchased for fireworks?
They were only purchased for fireworks.
Okay. I don't know if you were lining up the Painter availability.
No, but that just happened. We looked at it yesterday, and, well, who's going to be going? Carlos Carrasco for the Wilkes-Barre team. And then Sean was like, oh, no, it should be Andrew Painter, but it says TBD. Even today, it says TBD. I find that very interesting. He started every 6th game the entire time since he's come up. And now today, which would be the 6th day, because he started on the 27th, he's not in there. So I'm wondering if there is not just a move that's getting ready to be made.
You think? I thought they were shutting him down through the All-Star break.
I don't know.
I thought because he's not pitching, I think, in the Futures game. I think he might be shut down.
I know he's not pitching in the Futures game. I just assumed he was just going to continue playing for the Iron Pigs.
I don't think we're going to see him until post-All-Star.
Well, then, in what uniform will you see him in?
Well, that's it. I mean, that's where this could go down to. But for Mick Abel, I'm not sending him down after yesterday.
No, I don't.
Let him make one more start up here.
His next start, and we should look and see exactly. Do you know who that would be against? I can pull up the Phillies.
Giants, I believe.
There you go.
It's one of the games in San Francisco, I believe. At one point in my life, I was going to go.
You're not
I'm not
going.
doing that.
Okay.
Not doing that trip anymore.
So that's the Giants game out there. I see that now. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the leash. Then the leash is just one more start. But then what do you do?
And then you reassess. But then you give yourself a chance to reset. If it doesn't look good after that start, or you have plans for Painter, then you can make that move following that Giants game, and you get to probably roster a bullpen pitcher there for the last 4 games before the break.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's right before the break.
Right. You give yourself a break, and then you get a chance to either come back out with, hey, Painter's going to get his chance, or Abel's still on the team, and Abel makes his next start as scheduled. To me, I know we live and die with every day. But the roller coaster I watched this fan base go through with Mick Abel yesterday was actually painful for me. Some of you overvalued him, and now a lot of you are undervaluing. He still can be traded.
Listen, anybody can be traded.
Right, but like he still is going to bring you back value. It's not like you're trading this guy now for like a rental like middle reliever. Like this guy could still get you back value as a 23-year-old starting pitcher with good fastball velocity
and I don't think it's like putting lipstick on a pig. I don't think you're selling a bill of goods that's not
right.
very good. You're talking about like, oh yeah, there's somebody that's gonna like think they can fix him. He's not broken.
No. He's just
young.
Yeah.
He's just young.
Just needs.
See, we're just selling it. Who's listening? Pirates, are you listening? Orioles, are you listening?
Listen, I'll go talk to any general manager you need me to. You give me a call, Dombrowski. I'll convince any of them. Now, I'm asking that question, though, because some of you, I want to talk to those of you that feel they missed the boat on trading Abel. Do you feel they did? And how much longer of a Major League runway are you giving him? 610-632-0975. You call or text. Now, coming up, another thing that got under people's skin yesterday, the base running. I understand why it frustrates you. I do. I understand why you're annoyed by it. The benching conversation following that game, we need to address just because I get it, but when are we going to stop expecting it? We'll get to that. Alongside Amy Fatul, I'm Ray Dunn, filling in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5, The Fanatic. back in. 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Toole. I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike Missanelli today. Getting a nice little start in his vacation.
Yeah, I like it.
July 4th. I'm going to head down the shore. I'm looking forward to that. I'm assuming the television life does not stop over
I will
the 4th.
be on Phillies duty tomorrow.
The 105 start.
105 start and on Saturday as well.
Oh, that's going to be a quick turnaround, too, from Lehigh Valley tonight to
Listen,
TV studio tomorrow.
it's baseball, 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 baby.
Amy Fadul does not stop working. That's the one thing you will learn. Spending time around Amy Fadul. I'm off to the next big thing I got to go do.
I'm going in today, taping a little Phillies clubhouse. So the next rain delay, you'll see my face talking about some stuff.
Oh, we're not doing signing Harper?
No, well, that when it's the extended rain delay we had the other day, I did that game. What was it, 2.5 hours? It's like you can only run so many. That was the clubhouse that I have two different stories in. I did the sit down with Mick Abel, and then I did also Aaron Nola, the Fans Feeding Families with Phil Abundance. And people are like, I saw you. I'm like, yeah. You only run that so many times, and then it's like signing Harper. But the best, and I swear the ratings are better when they run like the 93 stuff.
I was going to say, the 93 one is also a classic.
It's narrated by Kruk in L.A., and it's fabulous.
Well, I think it's Mitch Williams is in the Atlantic City Surf shirt for that, which has made it a cult classic for me.
Great.
Anytime he's getting interviewed with the
It's a
surf
good one.
shirt,
We
leaning
also
back
run
in
the,
Atlantic City.
Where they were building, Citizens Bank Park. And you have Jim Thome in the construction hat.
Yes.
That's always a good one, too.
That's a great piece of B-roll. That's been used so many times.
It's a great shot.
It is. No, great stuff right there.
So, when they do the extended ones, you get a lot of clubhouse, and then after a while, you're like, okay, you can only run so much clubhouse. Then you pull in you play the hits, as they say.
Yes. I would like to, maybe that's a piece of digital content for us, for Dylan. I'm going to rank my favorite of the rain delay content.
I think 93 is up there with a lot of people, but there's other stuff that's in there.
93 is a good one. 93 for people like me is very educational.
It is, and it's also interesting because it was a really, truly behind the scenes. I mean, you're literally sitting there. The guys are in like the training room area, sitting up there getting treatment, and they're just drinking beers, and Harry Callis is coming in singing, and
yes.
It's like stuff like that is just, you don't get that kind of access anymore. I mean, you do to a certain extent, but it was just, that was those guys in their element, and it was great. It's great to have those knuckleheads, narrate it, because you could have had two better, Larry Anderson and John Kruk narrating it. It's just quintessential.
Yeah, no, you couldn't have like the...
you don't want anybody taking it seriously.
No, the professional voiceover of that would not match the
you
tone
want LA
of that season.
talking about, I was the old man, and Kruk being like, yeah, you were. Like, that stuff's great. It's gold.
All right, things that were not gold yesterday. Base running at the end of that first game. And you could still get in. I asked you the question, the Phillies missed the boat on trading Abel, and how much longer of a major league runway should he have following yesterday's start? And, hey, one thing, people say, oh, this is the negative. Look at the positive from that game. Shout out to the bullpen and the low leverage arms of the bullpen being able to cover the rest of that game so they didn't have to use anybody. Because that's
great.
When he goes in inning 2/3 and you watch that happening,
oh, yeah.
I was sitting there like...
When Johnson came out, I was like, oh, this isn't going to go well.
I was like, yeah, so...
Who did?
Game 2, like I legitimately said, I was like, I'm going to put an asterisk on game 2 if they lose, because I got the bullpen totally killed by the first game.
Because it could have gotten that rollover effect.
You could
what would have happened.
But didn't. So shout out to all those low leverage guys for doing their job. Also, Seth Johnson, I'm officially campaigning for you to have a roster spot. You're good in my book.
When he came on, there was definitely a collective in the newsroom was like, oh no, this could get ugly.
Guy throws hard. I'm in. Let's give him a shot. Carlos Hernandez was rostered for what, 2 months? We can't give Seth Johnson a courtesy opportunity
I just worry about
here.
the next time they see Seth Johnson.
And that is the next time's problem. That's not this time's problem. But all right, so that first game happens. You can get on the Abel conversation, but the end of that first game, or what almost was the end of that first game, is Marsh getting thrown out of third and then being safe. And it's a stupid base running play, like point blank. I am not going to sit here and defend. I'm not going to defend well, actually, no. Bad base running by him, especially given where you're at in the lineup. Like, if you're going to be the 9-hitter, and he's been that now for a while, you know that the big bats are coming up behind you. You don't need to do more. Like,
literally, they're standing next to you when you're there. Just look over in case you need a reminder.
Schwarber will get you where you need to go if he gets the bat. No, he didn't yesterday. But in that there, let him make the last out. Don't let you make the last out. And let us leave here with the thought of what would have happened. The thing that drives me a little nuts is everyone goes, and I don't mean to take a shot at the guy coming up at 2 o'clock, but I know Bill said this because everyone was tweeting at Bill when Marsh hit the home run of he's got to be benched. Here's why I'm not benching him. Because you've already set the precedent here for how long that nobody gets benched for these stupid base running mistakes.
Yeah. You didn't bench him when he was... Come on, you haven't benched a lot of people.
Right.
So...
He He needs to be punished for this.
What you do get benched for is if you call your manager a name.
Right. And I'm cool with that.
Absolutely.
But
it's disrespectful.
This is, you've set the precedent where that's not happening. On top of that, Johan Rojas being the guy you get benched for.
See, that doesn't solve a lot of problems.
The same chance of Marsh making that mistake is there with Rojas.
Correct.
Both of them are not exactly the
Correct.
brightest of base runners on a team collectively that are not the brightest of base runners.
I think that's when the conversation comes up about you got to bench him. Like, well, then you're going to bench a lot of people here because there's some really bad base running as a whole, and it's not just this season. It's been problematic for this team for a couple of years now. I get the aggressive nature, but the awareness, like if I was watching a Little League game and my 10-year-old was out there trying to do that, we would have a serious conversation in the car ride home, and it would not go well for the person that tried to do that.
Yes.
AKA the 10-year-old.
Correct. What does the conversation look like that for you? What's...
Well, I'm looking in the rear view. But no, Shawnee can ride in the front seat. So I guess I'd be looking over him and be like, I would probably have it. The car would not be moving because we would need to have a lot of eye contact. Be like, there are a lot of things about baseball. And he would probably try to cut me off. Be like, I know. I'm like, no, you don't. Because you tried to turn a double into a triple when there's 2 outs and your team is down. What are you doing? You cannot get the last out at third.
Now, what if, instead of benching the players, we actually send Amy Fadul over from the NBC studios to have a very stern conversation with the players?
Cannot. There is, and I would illuminate the reasons why.
You know,
it's very easy.
You know what's crazy about this? I could honestly say, not benching Brandon Marsh, or by benching Brandon Marsh, you weaken the lineup, and that's something that I don't think I could have said a couple.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
I don't think I would have believed myself saying it a month ago.
Now, if he'd done what Tatis does, running to first base,
dude, they love him out there.
Then we'd bench him. I'd bench that guy to heartbeat.
The greatest difference between the two fan bases is San Diego loves that man, and I guarantee you he would have been run out of town here by now.
You can't trot to first base every single time you ground out.
I understand.
Or pop out.
I'm telling you though,
it's awful.
Two different towns.
They also came up with that silly song. So
yeah, we can talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I'm curious for people. Do you think they should have benched Marsh? I don't think a lot of people are going to admit it now that he had a homer in game 2. And coming up, speaking of fan bases, did our fan base show up a little weak for the All-Star votes?
I was surprised.
I'm just curious. Like, I'd love to know whether or not people feel we showed up weak, and if you because if you didn't vote, why not? Again, we're talking All-Star game here. 610-632-0975. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
An up and down doubleheader for the Phils. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies split their doubleheader yesterday with the Pirates. Game 1 got off to a rough start as Mick Abel was only able to get through 1 2/3 innings. He walked 5 batters, only gave up 2 hits, but he gave up 5 runs as well. The Phillies ultimately lost that first game 6-4. Game 2, though, that was a different story. Christopher Sanchez got the start in that one, and he was dominant. Sanchez went 7 innings, struck out 5, only allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At the plate, Max Kepler became the 4th Philly of the season to hit double-digit home runs with his 2-run shot last night. The Phils are off today before a 4th of July matchup tomorrow against the Cincinnati Reds. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound in that one. First pitch is tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. Rumors have been swirling all week about a TJ Watt trade in the NFL, and some people have linked him to the Birds. While Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, and he threw water on that idea.
The fact of the matter is, I think the Eagles are planning and budgeting to pay their own players. So there's so many contractual situations and commitments that you have that it makes it hard all of a sudden to go trade for a TJ Watt.
Does not sound like TJ Watt's going to be here, but the rest of the guys, they're going to be reporting to training camp in just 19 days on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief, so you can keep moving all day. Use as directed. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is one that I'll bump to when it comes back. What song is this?
Foster the People, Lost in Space.
Oh, that's a good song.
Wonderful. And this is where I say sometimes Mike's music taste does good for me. You know, Mike's got a very wide variety of songs that he will submit for these return musics. And some of these I can bump to a little bit. You know, this gives me the feel of like I'm about to go out.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you're like a little pregame situation?
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
honestly, this is kind of the pregame to my entire weekend.
It is.
So
Because you're getting ready to go.
yeah, if you
Literally
can't
leave-
tell from the people watching on YouTube, I've got the Hawaiian Phillies shirt on today. I'm like halfway mentally to the shore. I'll be with you here until 2 o'clock. I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike Missanelli alongside Amy Fadul, Brandon Gunn producing the show. But like, I'm ready to get there, you know? When you have plans and like the
Yeah,
extended
you're
days
ready to
off.
go.
The extended days off is also something different. Like I got 3 consecutive days, which is always like a big thing.
Friday,
Well,
Saturday, Sunday.
No, I have 2 consecutive days.
Oh, so it's like, yeah, you're working Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I have 2 consecutive days, which is like kind of a big thing. That's kind of a big thing.
And then a day off afterwards.
Correct. Yes. I'm doing the 3 days off in 4
That's right.
days.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm in for you on Monday.
Yes, you're running the board.
No, I'm in for you in this chair. That would be.
I would pay to see that.
Nothing. Listen, I'm sure I could figure it out, but that is not something I want to try to learn on the fly. Pressing buttons.
Not after a holiday weekend.
Pressing buttons. What's going on over there, Amy? I have no idea.
We used to
press, bing, bang, bong.
We used to do the All-Star days, like where people like go pop up on different shows and the whole thing. I think we should do one day where we flip roles. Just one day.
We did that once in my television station. We did for April Fool's Day. I did the weather, and then a news person did the sports, and the weather person did like one segment of the news.
Right. Again, I'm not asking for a whole segment of it, but I would
Yeah.
love to see, like, and it'd be tough, like with the former. I guess Andrew's the former producer that host, so Andrew really would be in.
John would have to be back here.
John, Mike, Ricky Bo back there. Like, I would like to see all of them
Ricky Bo.
trying
Ricky,
to, you know, firing
Press
away at the
taking
I think
calls.
it'd be funny. I think it'd be entertaining.
Especially if
Oh,
there was like a lot of like, sound bites that he needed to play.
Yeah.
That's where he and I would be like, I got nothing.
that. I would find that fun.
I did something like that when I was in college. It's been a long time.
All right, that's not been that long time.
Well, not that long, but it was like a part of a class.
Oh,
It was a really.
oh, you were okay. Gotcha.
Imagine John picking up a phone call from Dieter.
Hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, that's another thing. Someone have to do that job.
Yeah. All right, I'll go pitch it to management. I'm sure they want to hear that idea. I'm sure Ray. What's your big idea for content? Hear me out. All right. Well, this meeting's over. We'll talk to you.
That's it. All right.
Real quick. While we're about to get to this All-Star thing that I'm curious about, but I know we got some interaction early on the text board for what people want to get into. And if you missed it, we're asking you, do you feel the Phillies missed the boat on trading Abel? I can't believe that I'm asking that question, but I watched social media explode yesterday. And it's like, they're not going to get a bag of balls back for this guy. It's like, all right, it's 5 outs, 5 walks. I didn't love it. The 5 runs bother me, but it's been 6 starts. He wasn't as good as the first 3. He's not as bad as the last 3.
Yeah.
So we ask into that, how much longer of a major league runway should he have? And also the benching of Marsh that everybody wanted to see that they just don't do. So I don't know why we keep asking for something they don't do. What do we got on the text?
We got Tom in Lansdowne checking in saying Mick Abel is young and he has good stuff, but he should be sent back down to AAA. Get him right. Recall him September 1st. We truly don't know what we have in him. He's been good at times. He's been bad at times, but right now he's pitching like Mickey Goldhill. I don't know who that is, but
All right.
all right.
So the September 1st thing. I understand the arbitrary date here.
Right.
I don't want to if he's still here on August 1st, it's not going I'm not wishing for the man to be gone. However, he is still one of your more valuable trade assets. And we talked with Jason Stark yesterday, and he basically named the big 3 of guys that he doesn't see them would take a lot for the move in Painter, Miller, and Crawford.
Right.
Abel not being a part of that is probably the indication that he is the prized prospect along with Tait and Arun Escobar, who's had the
Yes.
big season. Like, those are probably the guys that, hey, take your pick of those guys and we'll trade you
Then
them.
we'll see what
in
we
exchange.
can get.
So if he's coming back up September 1st, I think that's probably a misuse of the assets they have here because he's probably one of your better pitchers in the system regardless. And if he's going to still be here, you're probably trying to convert him to a one-inning
And
guy.
that's the thing, because you mentioned it earlier. What role does he fill for you? Like, you can value him however you want to value Mick Abel, and I think he obviously does have value. He has shown that he is a good pitcher and can be a good pitcher, and there are going to be somebody, whether it's the Phillies or whomever, will be able to work with him and get him to where you need him to be. But he's a starting pitcher, and I know when you talk to him, he says, I'm willing to do whatever role. He's a starting pitcher. So where do you see him down the road? So if he's here September 1st, you've done something. You've said something without saying it.
Right.
I think that's not where you're looking. Andrew Painter is your next starting pitcher in this rotation. You've got Christopher Sanchez, you've got Ranger Suarez, you've got Zach Wheeler, you've got Aaron Nola. Done, 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 done. Here's Andrew Painter. You're all set.
Right.
So I'm wondering why you would still have Mick Abel. And I like Mick Abel, but you don't need him right now.
I'm right there with you. I know we have a text on Marsh.
Yes, we do. And it turns out Mickey Goldhill is the guy from Rocky. Just never knew his last name.
Oh, I never knew his last
Never
name.
knew his last name.
All of us sitting here like, well, okay, that was a good
I
reference,
was like,
I guess.
okay, I don't know.
But we got somebody checking in on Marsh. She said, I'm not going to complain about Marsh's base running when inevitably he was safe without complaining about Schwarber striking out on a high ball 4.
Oh, well, I'm not going to.
So, Marsh, dumb base running, Schwarber striking out against a good pitcher. One's controllable, one's a little bit less. Like, I don't know here. Also, what Schwarber's given you versus, like, what? By the end of this season, Schwarber's going to have more home runs in this season than Marsh has had in his Phillies career entirely. I think I could give a little bit more of a pass for Schwarber swinging and missing at a high pitch.
The thing is, he's always trying to do something, and it's not like he's struck out looking. Yes, it was a high ball, probably was ball 4. I don't know. I don't know.
It was also, he had
I'm not going to give his
a mischievous grin while he was batting. That last at bat, he had like a little smile going. I don't know what he was like envisioning in his head about what he was about to do to that baseball, but I was watching.
He's the best.
Wow.
When he swings, it's even the slow-mo version of his swing is fast.
Yeah.
It's just the fastest swing.
But yeah, okay. So I can't say that I can't complain because he was safe because it was still very stupid. What I'm not going to ask for him is him to be benched because this is what they are. Okay. I'm gonna take a deep breath.
Yeah,
on this one.
I was gonna
take
say.
a deep breath. All right, we got Neil checked in on the All-Star thing on our YouTube chat. Hello to our YouTube chat. If I haven't said hello to you already, Neil checked in on the All-Star thing, and I'm curious. I want to get like a fan's perspective here on have we gotten over the All-Star thing? Do we not want to show up for these guys?
A level of apathy?
Yeah, do you just not care? Like, I'm curious for people, and you can jump in at 610-632-0975. Because Neil says, I think plenty of people voted for Schwarber, but no one's beating out Ohtani. The only other player with a case is Trey Turner, and Philly hates Turner, so it's understandable.
I don't think that's true.
Now, some people don't like him. I get it. But do we just collectively as a fan base, have we turned off the whole All-Star thing where it's like, well, we don't need to vote for our guys. We know how much we value them, and that's about it. Like, because I'm curious. I look at some of those votes. Like, Acuna played what? A month?
Yeah.
He's a starter? The Dodgers, I mean, we joke about LA fans, but everyone got a vote there.
They got him in.
So I'm just curious. Why didn't our fan base show up for it? You get on that 610-632-0975. I'm Ray Dunn, alongside Amy Fadul, in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5, The Fanatic. Working our way through the 10 o'clock hour here on the Mike Missanelli Show. I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike alongside Amy Padul, Brendan Gunn producing the show. And asked this question about the All-Star vote. And it was something I was kicking around last night with my roommates. You know, I got back from the game last night, and I guess someone's upset with me about my way of attending the game last night. So we'll get to that text message in a moment. And it was something we were kicking around as a group of just like, no Phillies in the All-Star, like no Phillies as starters in the All-Star game. Now, I believe that Zach Wheeler will be the starting pitcher for the Nationals.
If he's not, something's gone horribly wrong.
Skeens is kind of incredible, though.
He is. Cool. No.
He got it last year.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to just be like, because Wheeler, there's certain things, like also the Cy Young this year, if Wheeler pitches this way the rest of the year, like I think there's going to be a certain sentiment of like, this guy's the pitcher of a generation.
Exactly. You got to give him one.
Yeah. Also, for
one.
Wheeler down in Atlanta, what that would mean for him to start that game, like I kind of feel like the story's written itself.
You have to have Zach Wheeler.
I agree. I'm never going to argue against Zach Wheeler.
There was a funny tweet. Someone said something about like it's hard to feel bad for Paul Skeens given this contract and who he dates or whatever. But he's done it. He's done it.
Oh, I do feel for him. I feel terrible for him.
Pirates.
I break that man out.
So bad. I saw this. I saw him out there. Apparently, he's really big into the greens crew. Like
yes, he was out there with the whole grounds crew doing
just loves a greens crew. I've been around golf too much. The grounds crew, like talking to them about like the grass and whatever, and he would love to professionally cut grass or go into the military when he's done.
Well, he was a military guy before.
Yeah, he was an Air Force guy.
Yeah. So he's going to make $500 million.
He was a catcher.
As a pitcher.
Yes.
He's going to make $500 million. Livy's going to make, I don't know, $100 million probably on her own from doing her thing. But he wants to go into landscaping when he's done. Good for him.
I love it.
He's got a great work ethic
about
him.
Tossing the football around, probably a better quarterback than who the Steelers are currently operating with. The man's got it all, except for a good team.
I mean,
stop it. I know they're playing well right now. Stop it. That's not a good team.
Oh, no, it's not. No, the craziest, I was going to say, like, I don't really feel bad. I do, but I don't. Like, give me another year or two, and then I'll maybe.
Okay, then you'll feel bad.
Yeah, like at this point, I don't know how bad I can feel for the guy.
Okay.
Like, you kind of got like he's got to kind of figure it out. I think he's all right. It's funny though. I saw the Pirates. They're 2 untouchables. Did you see this?
I did.
Skeens and Andrew McCutchen. Skeens makes a ton of sense. McCutchen is, and I love Andrew McCutchen. Like, to be very clear,
ultimate glue guy.
Is it tickets?
That's exactly what it is. Andrew McCutchen, they're using him as a shield for ownership.
That's ridiculous.
We have our franchise legend here. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
They were very excited when to bring him back. That was a huge deal there. Huge deal.
And I don't think there's a lot of teams knocking down the doors for McCutchen at this point. But to say he's untouchable
I don't think he's a big
absurd.
glue guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like a final piece. Like, hey, we just need like.
Well, yeah, and like he's gluing together a team that's going to be totally sold apart. Like, I mean, Bednar and Santana are going to be. Anyone of value there is going.
Is gone.
And the problem is their team's very bad. They don't have a ton of value.
It's incredible.
But
yeah, Kutch.
Back to the team on this side of the state, and why people didn't show out for the All-Stars. So I got a couple of theories here.
Yeah.
So Gabby, I walked back there because I wanted to check in on Brandon because he put up the is Ray looking snazzy 610632 on the YouTube, and I was like, Brandon, I didn't think you were working today. What are you doing here? He's able to put off his vacation for a few hours to hang out with us. Very nice of Brandon to do his job.
Thank you, Brandon.
And be here with us today. And Gabby back there, associate producer for us, told me that she overheard people that were near like the All-Star voting booth, like at down CBP, and it was around the time the Phillies went through that 1-9 stretch, and that a lot of people were kind of turned off to the team at that point. Like, I'm not showing up for them while they don't show up for us. Which, all right, maybe with the timing of All-Star voting, and it did fit into that time frame.
Yeah,
maybe
but
that's
like,
an
don't you
acceptable
still vote
thing.
for your team? I don't know. I still logged on and voted.
Well, I got another one here. So Ari from Warminster. Love Ari, great dude. Personally, did not go crazy with All-Star voting because last year when we had 8 All-Stars, the team flopped in the second half of postseason. So maybe they don't need all the midseason accolades and need to stay focused on winning a title. I also don't really buy into that one because it's like, I don't think a guy shows up to the All-Star game in July and is like, I made it. And if they do, we got a bigger problem about the group of guys in this locker room anyways. But I'm curious for people why they did, like why people didn't show up for him.
Like, we had all the All-Stars last year and we limped to the finish. We'll have no All-Stars this year and we're going to sprint to the finish?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, justifiably, Neil mentioned that like Turner is the one that deserves it the most. Like, to me, Schwarber and Turner are the two guys that deserve it out of this group.
Schwarber's an interesting one. Obviously, it's a DH. You're going against Shohei Ohtani, who has an entire continent voting for him. Country, I should say. And then out in L.A. But L.A. got a lot. I mean, Freddie Freeman.
Right. So Schwarber's
Will
not going to
Smith?
outdo Ohtani's voting.
No.
Ohtani's going to win. Ohtani's the face of the sport right now.
Right.
Like that is what it is. So Schwarber, I understand not winning. Turner not getting people to show up for him. I don't know if it's a referendum on Turner, the way people feel about him.
I think the first. What did Gabby say? I think that the fact that it was the 1-9 and they were in that slump and they weren't scoring any runs, people are probably less inclined to stop by that booth at CBP.
Right.
Or
log on and
when you go, when you do it at home, you have to sign in with your email, because I had to do it for Shawnee or whatever because he wanted to place his votes. So it is a little bit of a process because they want to have certain merit to it. I mean, you could create any email you wanted, really, if you think about it. But you do have to log on. It does take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When I logged on, I saw the whole email thing. I was like, all right. Me, it was an effort thing. I was like,
So you didn't vote either?
no.
So then you're just, why didn't you vote? Let's answer.
It was an effort thing. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I was changing. I didn't think I was changing the results.
Laziness. Not even for Trey Turner?
No. He got smoked.
Yeah, that's.
He got smoked.
They put out when they start to put out the numbers, that's when you really see it, which I appreciate. NBA does that too. Like you get to see how the voting is going.
And to be clear, I don't want this to come because someone's
that also could have something to do with it. Sorry to interrupt, but when you see it and you see how far Turner behind, you're like, well, I'm not going to help him.
And that could
but
be
then everybody has it.
I had I don't really feel like it's in something I need to do. So this is more a question of why we're like this way, not me coming after the fan base for why didn't you show up for the guys? This is me. I'll say, why am I also a part of this? We did get a text on this, so I want to see what they're feeling.
I think it's the same person that chimed into you because it was the verbatim what you read off. So that's what we got.
Ari? Yeah.
Yes.
Ari just went on the personal
Now, we did get somebody else checking in saying, did you fail to realize we're going to get 3 starters from the pitching rotation? That's not the same thing. That's not the argument.
No, that's not the argument here. Yeah, they got to be selected.
Right,
so
yeah.
different.
If there was a chance, I think that if there was a chance that you voted for the pitchers, I think people would have voted for Wheeler and Sanchez and Ray. They would have had those votes.
Right. So I was curious, and Colby says on the YouTube, I feel like it's for kids. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's more the childlike wonder.
Yeah,
maybe
Shawnee's one. He and his little buddies, they voted.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's and people say they don't care about the All-Star game now because of interleague, because you see these players. So all good
fun.
reasons.
Still fun.
All good reasons. So I'm just curious about it. Now coming up, I see that someone was upset with me, so we're gonna address whoever was upset with me, why they're upset with me, because apparently I sit in this chair for 2 days, and now apparently I've become evil. But something interesting I saw on NFL.com. Instead of doing the list, it was the redraft. For those that do the Madden redrafts, if you could redraft the league, how would it look?
Yes.
Oh, writer actually went into this. And Jalen Hurts actually went higher than I thought he would for a national perspective. But I'm curious the way people feel about it. We'll get to that coming up. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, filling in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The story of 2 starting pitchers. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies split their doubleheader yesterday against the Pirates. Game 1 got off to a rough start as Mick Abel was only able to get through 1 2/3 innings. He walked 5 batters, gave up 2 hits, and gave up 5 runs. The Phillies ultimately lost Game 1 6-4. Game 2, though, that was a totally different story. Christopher Sanchez got the start in that one, and he was dominant. Sanchez won 7 innings, struck out 5, only allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At the plate, Max Kepler became the 4th Philly of the season to hit double-digit home runs with his 2-run shot last night. The Phillies are off today before hosting the Cincinnati Reds for a 4th of July matchup tomorrow afternoon. First pitch is tomorrow at 1:05. Jesus Luzardo is on the mound. Rumors have been swirling all week about a TJ Watt trade in the NFL, and some have linked him to the Birds. Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday and threw some water on that idea.
And the fact of the matter is, I think the Eagles are planning and budgeting to pay their own players. So there's so many contractual situations and commitments that you have that it makes it hard all of a sudden to go trade for a TJ Watt.
Does not sound like TJ Watt's going to be in Philly, but the rest of those guys, they're going to be reporting to training camp in just 19 days on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. Nitro's back. The IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series is lighting up the track. Nitro Nation, grab your tickets now at IHRA.com. IHRA.com. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli on this July 4th Eve, which I guess is July 3rd?
Otherwise known as July 3rd.
Could we make July 3rd like a thing?
I feel like, Black Friday's a thing, so the day after Thanksgiving's a thing. Why not the day before Independence Day?
Today is the ultimate run out the clock day for a lot
There
of
was
people.
no independence on the day before Independence Day.
Right.
I mean, there technically probably wasn't a lot of independence on the 4th either.
That's a good
We
point.
just signed a bunch of stuff and said, we're free. And they said, not so fast. We're going to go ahead and try that.
Today
No,
is
it
the day they I don't know how you make paper. They made the paper.
Parchment. It's like from skin animals.
No idea. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I learn something new every day. We did yesterday.
Put that in your quill for Quizzo.
We did Declaration of Independence signer or 1800s Philly yesterday.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It was great. I took like 76 in, which I never take, especially sometimes coming in. There's no one on the road.
No, there's nobody in the parking lot. I found a parking spot this morning.
Oh, yeah. There's like right out front.
Yeah. Nobody's here.
Everybody's taking like a half day.
This is the ultimate substitute teacher day in radio
You just wheel that video on out. We're just going to watch a movie today, everybody.
you could run up and down the halls here just screaming and no one would know. There's not a single soul. I
But we're
appreciate all
here.
of you that are.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
I'm
But,
happy to be here.
Our wing of the building's here. I'm just saying, it's a little bit of a light day. But
Yeah.
it's, for everyone, I feel like those that are listening at home, I was talking to one of our great listeners, Charlie, yesterday at the Phillies game and talked about having the dual monitor set up. Today is a day where you're just kind of moving the mouse pad.
Just clicking. Just
Yeah.
to click so they know that you're there.
And you're scheduling an email for Monday morning, basically. It's like anything that you want to be received by the end of this week, you probably have already sent, and it's like, all right, we'll get back to the whole thing
Yeah.
on Monday. Or if you're smart,
Circle
taking
back.
Monday off too when you got the
Like you?
like me, looking forward. I'll get out there, maybe a little par 3 golf action. Not full. I can't. I'm not that good. So
Oh.
I'm trying to.
You noticed the interest was peaked out. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Anytime-
Because you were thinking I was going to go full.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, no.
let's go.
I
Let's do
would
it.
love to go to the course with you, but I think I would unfortunately ruin your enjoyment of the golf day.
Not possible. You cannot.
Now, I think I'm not going to ruin the enjoyment of people's day here because I'm going to give you this, and you can get it on the Phils. We've had a number of things we're getting into Phillies-wise, but moving over to the Eagles here. I was on NFL.com, and this is a 7-round NFL mock draft, and this is just the first round of it, but it's going to be something that builds over time. And it's building a win-now team from active players for the 2025
Okay.
season. So you're building it for this upcoming season, and you're redrafting the league. And believe it or not, Josh Allen went number 1. Patrick Mahomes went number 2. Lamar Jackson went 3. Joe Burrow went 4. So right off the
Here we
rip
go.
there, I think you could start to
I'd probably
argue that
flip-flop Josh Allen.
and Patrick Mahomes. Most people I think would, but that's at least a
Yeah.
conversation right now
Right.
because of the numbers that Allen's putting up and the fact that Mahomes didn't win the Super Bowl. People can point to that Super Bowl performance.
He didn't
and be
win
like,
that Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. It's like he didn't win the Super Bowl this year, so we
He's
can make
won
this
3
a
others.
conversation. He might be the GOAT, but I'll take him second overall because he didn't win the
Exactly.
Super Bowl this year.
Great.
I could see the takesman, trying to justify that one.
Yeah.
So, but those 4, the Burrow, Jackson, Allen, Mahomes, agreeable for the top 4 picks. Interchange them how you want. Number 5 in this draft. Who do you think goes 5?
Is it a receiver?
It is a quarterback. I will tell you the first 10, 11, 12, 13 picks are all quarterbacks.
Jeez Louise. It's not Jalen Hurts.
It is not Jalen
So he's
Hurts.
not a top 5 quarterback,
According to this.
according to a lot of people. Some people don't even have it as a top 10. I would say Goff.
No, Goff was 8. Justin Herbert.
I almost said Herbert. People overvalue Justin Herbert. You love Justin Herbert.
Whoa, no, I'm a Jordan Lovesman.
I feel like you also love him.
I like Herbert. I don't like him over Hurts. Herbert's the hypothetical man.
Yeah, no, that's it.
He's the hypothetical man.
I feel like his coach loves him.
Yes.
No one sings his praises more than Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, which justifiably for Harbaugh.
But it's a
kinda
little
needs to.
much.
Listen.
It's a little much.
We know who we got in town here. You can hit me with any one of those Sirianni drops right now. If we're talking about loving on your players, I feel like I might be throwing stones in
Harbaugh
the
gets
glass
in
house.
his faces, like hitting.
Yeah, well, yeah, Harbaugh's also.
Crazy.
Yeah, you said crazy. I was going psycho. So yeah, we were on the same page there.
Herbert.
So
fifth.
I also love this explanation here. I know he passed for less than 4,000 yards in 2024, but he also threw just 3 interceptions. Quarterback who threw for less than 4,000 yards and limited his turnovers.
Yeah, because he didn't throw as much. It sounds a lot like somebody else I know.
Oh, and I'd like to point out, everyone likes to say that Hurts had the second scoring defense in the NFL. You know who had number 1?
Chargers.
The Chargers. Hurts, though, does go 6 in this draft.
Okay, all right,
So,
that's good.
I'm curious for you, though. When Herbert, we can have the conversation because he is the ultimate hypothetical man. Like, I understand. I love the attributes, love the skill set here. Herbert, to me, has not been the one that I think people have been taking over Hurts more often than not. I've seen a lot more Daniels, and Daniels goes after Hurts in this one.
I do see a lot of Jaden Daniels going high because I think that, listen, I think he's a great quarterback. I really like Jaden Daniels. I think he's a little too slight of frame when it comes to long-term viability at the position. And it's not because he's a runner, because he really isn't. But I do worry about the fact that if he does take a hit or two, like could be problematic. He's not the biggest guy you ever saw. He's great. I like him. I think he's going to be fine. I think he will have a little bit of a sophomore slump. But to me, I don't know why you would put him over Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, when the lights have been the brightest, he has done the best. He had a great Super Bowl in 22. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. He certainly outplayed him last Super Bowl. So if the people hate on him, whatever. I'm not going to put Jalen Hurts above the top 4 of that list.
No.
I am going to put him above Herbert.
Yeah, I'd probably take him 5.
I mean, I just don't think that Herbert's a winner.
And even if Herbert does anything to change, like in this current time, you're only projecting out Herbert to be something. I think I've seen what a ceiling of a team with Hurts could be. And I think that's why I would take it 5. I'm not offended by this list though. When I saw this, I was like, oh man, I'm about to get offended by something on NFL.com. And I was like, no, this actually Hurts being 6 doesn't bother me too much. If you want to make everyone can make their claim for the player above Hurts. To me, Hurts is that 5. If you want to put Herbert in there, whatever. If you want to put Daniels in there, whatever. I disagree with your logic, but I can at least see where you're going.
Daniels would be like 7. What's he, 7?
Jane Daniels is 7 in this.
Okay.
So I'm curious though. On top of this, Barkley goes 21 in this to the Steelers.
Where does A.J. Brown go?
So then this first round, he goes 26 to the Rams.
Okay. Wait, the Steelers took Barkley? That fits.
Yeah, they did. And the Eagles actually at 32 get Derrick Henry. Just for this exercise. However, the first 13 picks here, all quarterbacks. Could you justify to yourself the Barkley selection going into this year over any of those quarterbacks? Could you justify taking Barkley over any of the top 10 guys right now?
It's such an interesting conversation because you're drafting for this year and ostensibly next year and whatever else.
Well, just win now. Just put it for 2025.
Just win now. Yeah, I would justify him over a couple of those quarterbacks.
So here's the only thing that would stop me from doing that. The only thing that would stop me is knowing what it's like for a guy to come off a 2,000-yard season and have the number of touches that he had last season. And I'd be a little bit leery of taking him if it was a one-season scenario.
Who are 9 and 10 on you? So I know who 8 is. It's Goff. Who's 9 on that list?
Mayfield.
Stop it.
Purdy. Prescott.
Purdy.
Stafford. Love. Yeah, Purdy going before Stafford is kind of insane. Mayfield actually going before Stafford for a one-year scenario for me is also kind of insane.
I like Baker Mayfield just fine, but now you're telling me that you wouldn't take Saquon Barkley over all of those guys, some of those guys?
The only way I could justify it to you is in saying that I'd be concerned about off the workload from last season. Would you be concerned about the 1 year? It's a 1 year payoff.
It's a 1 year.
Well, it's a 1 year payoff.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a 1 year payoff.
Am I going to bank on the running back that could get banged up?
Are you going to bank on the quarterback that's going to throw 15 interceptions?
Yeah, okay. Listen, Purdy's probably a bad example for this one.
It's terrible. I couldn't, honestly, you could have sold me on a couple. When Brock Purdy's on that list, he's a top 10. Brock Purdy.
Well, yeah, all right, he's not top 10. I'm not saying this is my list of quarterbacks. I'm not putting Purdy in my top 10.
Well, you would put him over Saquon Barkley in your scenario.
All right, you got a point there, Amy Fadul. I got to give you credit on that one. You got the better of me on that one.
Come on.
Because I'm looking at this, and I guess I'd fit him in.
You can't do that.
Probably, I would take Stafford 8 here over Goff, Mayfield, Purdy, Prescott.
There's no doubt that the quarterback is the most important player.
Right.
I got it. But Saquon Barkley is more important than Brock Purdy.
Well, yeah, because Purdy.
Brock Purdy is a functioning quarterback. He is a guy that is just a utilitarian.
All right.
He is a vehicle to move the ball.
21 is insane for Barkley. Barkley goes
way too low
after Rodgers and Knicks in this.
Sorry, after Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, correct.
I thought there was maybe a different Rodgers.
Not Isaiah. I know you might have been thinking Isaiah Rodgers
I thought maybe
went
there was a
19th
different
overall.
Rodgers and Bo Nix.
And Bo Nix, correct.
Well, listen, the Steelers might have thought that.
Trevor Lawrence also goes 16 minutes.
People, the level of love that people have for Trevor Lawrence it's based from Clemson, and I appreciate that. He was great at Clemson. He is not good in the NFL.
So going through this redraft, now that you've kind of talked me into this, now that I'm thinking this one out loud, and we've had this conversation out loud, there's no way in the world Barkley's not a top 10 pick in a redraft for 1 year, though.
It's a 1-year draft.
Do you think my concern over his touches playing into next season are overblown?
I think they're a little bit overblown.
Okay.
I hear you, and I understand that because he was such a prominent feature of this offense. My counter would that be, so what? He's not maybe going to be as featured, and even if he is, he has shown that he's able to shoulder a really heavy workload. Look at him, he was with the Giants. Now, he didn't have the 2,000 yards when he was with the Giants, but he was still a very productive member of their offense, if not the most productive member of their offense, and he had high usage and less protection. So the best O-line in the entire NFL. So a very good offense that will be not necessarily centered around him, but utilize him in a way that is going to work. And you still have A.J. Brown. In this scenario, I guess you don't have A.J. Brown. You should still have somebody. Who do the Eagles take for the quarterback in this
We haven't
draft?
gotten there. We haven't got first round. All they got was Henry.
Oh, okay.
They're picked 32. So we got.
That's right. So they took a running back, which
Yes.
says a lot.
How
I'm
they
interested
build.
to see how they take.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays. I think it's going to be a series that plays out. So we'll keep texting about this. If we're not on shows together, we'll keep texting about
Okay,
this.
I'm
We'll
excited.
keep having the back
I need
and
to
forth.
have this.
This 7
I'm
on
glad
7.
I talked you back into Barkley.
Well, but the interesting thing is for Barkley, the only time in his career he's gone, and again, he was with the Giants.
I knew you were tapping away over there.
Yeah. Only time he's gone back-to-back seasons over 1,000 were rookie year and second year.
Okay.
That's just what I'm saying, though, with
He's with the Giants.
I
A
know.
terrible
I expect him
no
to go
quarterback.
I expect him to go over 1,000 again. I thought he was the MVP last season. I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I'm just saying, is there a world in which you can justify 10 quarterbacks being selected before?
Yes. There's a world. I don't like that world, but
No.
there is a world.
Okay, well, if you don't like that world, I'm not going to force you to like that world. But I'm telling you,
There's a world. Not when one of those quarterbacks is Brock Purdy, though.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, I'll reach across the table, shake your hand on that one.
there
We
you
can
go.
agree on that one.
Okay.
Brock Purdy's not going to be someone I take over Saquon
No.
Barkley. Coming up, I got a problem. Okay, Amy, I've got a problem, and it's a Sixers-related problem. So you're going to have to just listen to me lose it for 2 seconds, and then I don't know if you're going to be able to talk me down
I don't
or
know.
I just need to voice this again.
Okay.
I
I'm
voiced
excited.
it yesterday. Brendan Gunn voiced a lot more issues with the Sixers than I did yesterday.
I did hear B-Gun. He had a lot.
And I just need you to...
I'll try
I
to
don't even
talk
know if
to
you
you
can
about
talk
it.
me
Yeah,
down
I don't
from
know.
it.
I'll try to talk to you about it.
I'm gonna
Maybe we can work through it together.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Alongside Amy Abdul, operates on in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you
Wow. The things that we get
I
into
know. I
here.
love it. My favorite thing. It's my favorite thing.
Andrew Salciunas is hanging around because, he's national. He's big time.
He's big time
yeah,
now.
He's got big
Super
show
big time.
coming up. And I haven't thought about the rapper designer. And
I mean, did you think about him even when he was kind of on the scene?
Panda? Come on. At that age?
Yeah.
That was what was on the radio? That's what people were listening
Panda
to?
it was hard.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Listen, when I go back, is it on my, I'm going to listen to this playlist? No.
Designer. 2 eyes.
Yeah. Hey, you got to make yourself stand out.
Sure.
That's why I'm changing my name to Ray with 2 A's.
Ray.
Ray. Ray Dunn. Speaking of Ray, can we get the person that had the problem with me? By the way, sorry, B Gunn producing the show, Amy Fadul, alongside myself, Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli here. We got a text. Someone's upset with me for what reason?
Well, I'll get to it right now. They were upset with you yesterday for that topic that you posed about should you hang out with the buddy or sell the tickets or go to the game.
Right.
They said yesterday, sell the tickets. You have 81 chances to catch a Phillies game all year. You barely see your friend. Well, today he texts back in, Ray leading off the show with the huge, capital huge violation.
Whoa.
Skips hanging out with his friend to go to a Phillies game and doesn't even stay for the fireworks.
So here's the take on the whole fireworks thing. I am not anti-fireworks.
It seemed like from your social media post that you were anti-fireworks.
I am not anti-fireworks.
I'm going to pull this.
I am just meh on the whole
that's what it was.
firework thing. I just, me personally, I'll watch the fireworks if they're there, and if people want to make plans to go see fireworks, I'm not going to stand in the way of it. However, I am not a fireworks seeker, okay? I am a firework watcher when it is convenient for me. What was convenient for me last night was getting home, putting together this sheet so I could do this show today, and packing so I could go down the shore. I wasn't sticking around for a half hour to watch fireworks. I'm sure they were fantastic. I'm sure everyone had a wonderful time at the ballpark. I saw that I was anti-American for this. On the
Why
YouTube
did you
chat.
buy the ticket then if it's premium prices for a fireworks game?
Do you know what I do for a living, Begun?
Not enough to pay premium tickets for a fireworks game.
Buddy, we got these tickets. It's 413 up there. I'm not paying premium to sit up at 413.
More premium than you would.
All right, we got a good deal on the tickets. We know we got some help out here. The idea that I'm paying this ridiculous, crazy fee to go to this game. I wanted to hang out with, my friend to go to the game Tuesday night. Then the game gets postponed. Then I go hang out with my friend Wednesday night.
Yes. And do you see this friend often?
Well, the person that I had to cancel and I don't. So I feel bad about that. I do. I genuinely feel bad about that, not seeing that person. But you have to understand, I think being a friend of mine is understanding that my priorities in this life are pretty much like Phillies baseball and then everything else.
I get that.
Like we had the conversation yesterday of things that you would skip for, that you can't skip for a Phillies game. And we had a wedding, funeral, close family birthday, significant other birthday.
Well, if it's a significant other, why don't you just go to the game for their birthday?
Well, you could, but if they don't want, you're not gonna skip for
sounds
that.
like it's a doomed relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, for me.
No, I had that once.
What, anti-sport?
Not super into it.
So I don't know if I want my partner to be so incredibly in on.
It was Valentine's Day. I thought going to the Kentucky-Florida game was a good idea.
Well, yeah, for you, that's got to be peak Valentine's Day.
No, I don't want to go to dinner. I want to go to see Kentucky play Florida. That's what I want.
Don't buy me flowers. Buy me a beer at the game.
Thank you. That's exactly what we're going to do. Don't be surprised. So I think that goes with it. That's what you're saying. Your
Right.
friends would know. Oh, Ray wants to go to the game.
Right, and that makes sense. I'd already had the tickets. I already had the tickets.
And that's the thing. It wasn't like you made the plans. But I guess the scenario would be if you had the plans, tickets then were offered to you. So the plans had already been in place. Mm-hmm. And then the tickets came up. Would you cancel the plans that had already been made for the free tickets? Or whatever, even if they cost? The answer is yes for you.
Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say. Your eyes say yes.
Yes.
You wanted to say no, but you would have been lying.
Yes, and I've been very clear with this audience. I'll be honest with them. I was honest with them yesterday and sharing the new television series that I'm watching that I know a lot of people are upsetting me about. But I'm getting Zach in Old City here is coming at me. Ray Dunn is a fair weather fan. Am I a fair weather fan for leaving the fireworks show?
No,
I was there to the end of the game. I heard Harry sing. I got there to the end of the game. I saw people walk out. People walked out in the 8th. With this bullpen, people walking out in the 8th, hey, good for you. You know, you have a lot of confidence in this team. I wanted to see the end. I don't think I'm a fair weather fan for skipping the
No,
fireworks.
because the fireworks are just like an enjoyment. I love the anti-American because you don't want to watch things explode in the sky.
Like, for
Rockets,
me,
red glare. Bombs
I'll
bursting
watch
in air.
fireworks. But, like, the idea that I'm going to
Where are
rearrange
you
my
watching
life.
fireworks this weekend?
I'm sure there'll be that, like, Wildwood. Honestly, it's Wildwood. So I'm probably there's going to be a neighbor of mine that's just like, boom.
That's the best part. That's the best part about living in the city is July 3rd fireworks, July 7th fireworks, July 4th fireworks. They're all great.
So here's an actual violation I might have. And I was going to bring this up later, but you walked me right into this path. And I'm curious for people. And I will get to the Sixers problem I have. I promise you. Am I wrong for the fact that I have now, I went to Temple, so I've been technically in the city. Like I had an apartment my last 3 years there that was 12 months. And I've lived now post-grad in the city since. I have never spent a July 4th in Philadelphia.
What?
Like I
Always go to the shore?
It's either shore or last year I was in Chicago. I think the other times like I might have been working here and then raced to the shore. Like I've never.
Birthplace of Liberty, the cradle of freedom.
So correct.
You've never done it like the Parkway, the fireworks, Penn's
Literally,
Landing,
just go
all
to
the
a
great
friend's
spots.
house, go to a friend's house and sit outside. The fireworks in the city that people have are almost better than anything you're going to see on the river at the Parkway. They're amazing.
And I got you. That's what I'm saying. Is it wrong of me to have never done this?
Yeah.
You are like Mr. Philly. You walk
Yeah,
across
you
the
walk-
Ben Franklin
literally,
Bridge. You walk everywhere.
You love the city. And
Yeah.
this city gives you fireworks on the birthplace of our nation here, and you eschew it and say, no, I'm going to Chicago?
Well, okay, the Phillies were out there last year. And the
Yeah.
Union. I stayed for that fireworks show, the Chicago Fire's fireworks show. I stayed after that game for that.
This is serious violation.
That's crazy, Ray.
Serious
So, okay, so this is bad.
I'm stunned.
All right, I'm curious for people. 610
Never watch a firework display or any kind of national celebration here in Philadelphia. Are you going to watch it next year? 'Cause
Well, that's exactly it.
2026 is a big year in case you didn't know that.
Here's my spin zone. I was waiting.
You've been saving. No, you
for the
weren't.
250.
Stop it.
I was waiting. That was
Stop it. Stop it.
All right, so I'm prepared to get crushed on this one. I'm really just looking for the one person to support there. If you have supporting my fact that I've never spent
It'd
it
be
there.
one thing if you didn't live in the city. You've lived in the city for like a decade.
All right. Please, someone out there defend me. 610-632-0975.
I'm so
Text in.
surprised.
Is there anyone else out there like me that's lived around here or I guess in the city and
No, you
never
have to
done
live in the city.
All right, has lived in the city. I spent a lot of time in the burbs when I grew up. I wasn't coming in for the...
You've lived here for 10 years.
All right.
You've had 10 4th of Julys.
Before Amy gets too disappointed with me, we're going to switch back
I'm
to the
so
disappointment in
surprised.
town of the 76ers and have that conversation coming up next. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dutton, filling in for Mike Missanelli.
Fanatic Sports Update.
An up and down doubleheader. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies split their doubleheader yesterday against the Pirates. Game 1 got off to a rough start. Mick Abel was only able to get through 1 2/3 innings. He walked 5 batters, gave up 5 runs, only gave up 2 hits, but, got out of the game before the second inning was over. Phillies ultimately lost that game 6-4. Game 2, though, that was a completely different story. Christopher Sanchez got the start in that one, and he was dominant. Sanchez went 7 innings, struck out 5, only allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At the plate, Max Kepler became the 4th Philly of the season to hit double-digit home runs. His 10th of the season yesterday was a 2-run shot. The Phillies are off today before a 4th of July matchup against the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow. Moments ago, Zach Wheeler was just named the National League Pitcher of the Month for June. Kudos to him. Rumors have been swirling about TJ Watt and a trade in the NFL for the entirety of this week, and some people have linked him to the Birds. Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, and he threw water on that idea.
And the fact of the matter is, I think the Eagles are planning and budgeting to pay their own players. So there's so many contractual situations and commitments that you have that it makes it hard all of a sudden to go trade for a TJ Watt.
TJ Watt won't be here, it sounds like, but the rest of the Birds are going to be reporting to training camp in 19 days on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Save up to $30 on auto repair with AAA Triple Play. Only at AAA Tire and Auto Service. Offer valid through July 31st. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Missanelli, Amy Fidul alongside me, Brandon Gunn producing the show. I knew this was going to happen. And, I just had to be bold and be honest with the people, all right? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you the truth, but I see already. Money Mar, that's a violation. Ray, did I get called anti-American again? Like, it's
Defending the Cowboys yesterday and not seeing fireworks in Philadelphia.
You got to stop. You got to stop. This is where we found out. Ray, I'm a Northern Liberties guy. I can put that out there. I ran into a nice couple actually on the street the other night. That I went by them. Guy looked at me, and I was like, I don't know what I did. I was like, I was just walking. And he's like, Ray, and I was like, oh my gosh, how does he know me? And he's like, oh, we listened to the show. And I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, nice. Appreciate that. Yeah, very nice. So it was nice to meet you guys. I appreciate it. Cute dog, too. They were walking it. But I was making my way back. I went down the other half. Got poured on.
Oh, yeah. It rains every day here.
Well, I had planned Tuesday night for the Phillies game. So I didn't have anything for dinner because I'm going to the shore. And I'm not going to go grocery shopping for stuff that's going to go. It's just me eating it we all do our own grocery shopping.
Right.
So I'm not going to go shopping for food when I'm going to be gone.
For 2 whole days. They have refrigeration and things like that now.
Well, all right. I'm leaving tonight, so I'm gone tonight. So I'm not eating tonight. Okay. I'm not eating tomorrow. I'm not eating Saturday. I'm turning right back around Sunday.
My fridge, I have no preparation for it.
I'm getting very defensive in the 11 o'clock hour.
I'm like, all right, what are we eating tonight? Did I buy anything today? Probably not. All right, we're ordering out.
I
try to buy only a couple days ahead. I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Well, see, okay, I agree.
Yeah.
A few days ahead.
A few days ahead.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than throwing out food.
It's such a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Especially fresh.
But I see that we do have a text that's pro me. Before I get into the Sixers thing, I just want someone to defend me on the whole. I haven't done the Philadelphia 4th of July.
If you got a place to go down the shore or you're out of town for the Phillies game, it's not necessary to see the fireworks in Philly. That's something only poor folks like me do.
Oh, see, now
I'm like that.
Now you made me an elitist. You made me an elitist here.
Because you've got a shore place. You're traveling all over the world.
Is it not a time that a lot of people travel the 4th?
To Philadelphia. The birthplace of the nation.
Yeah, someone was saying I was anti-Philly, too. I feel like there's nobody that's more pro
That's why we're so surprised.
Yeah, all right. My bad. All right, guys. Next year. I'm saving it for next year.
Well, next year maybe is the time not to go outside because everyone and their brother will be here for the 4th.
I live here.
And yet you've left every year.
Because I'm saving my first 4th of July fireworks for something special.
I feel like next year you have to really do it up. I want to see a white wig. I need to see the full garb.
I'll get a cape with the American flag. You
need to fly a kite all weekend long.
Give me a
in a thunderstorm.
Yep. Yes. Well, there'll be a storm. So.
Yep, sure.
It'll be raining.
All right. Speaking of thunderstorms and cloudy weather and the dark clouds that have rolled in over the basketball
team.
Thank
you. I'm following this segue.
Thank you.
I'm rolling along.
Yep. This is why they have me fill in on July 3rd, right. Amy. It's segues like this. Yesterday, I kind of lost my mind with Eric Gordon coming back. And it's like the second time this week on these airwaves I've lost my mind about this. Sunday, when the mutual interest report dropped, I kind of lost it again. And it's really nothing personal to Eric Gordon. I don't want this to be like this guy stinks, this guy's, just the conversation was this team's got to get younger and more athletic. He has gotten older just by virtue of the number next to his name in terms of age. And also, BJ Edgecombe chooses number 77 because he doesn't want to be 7 for respect for Kyle Lowry, which there was reports of the mutual interest also bringing back Lowry.
Right, there was, yes.
On a roster in which Paul George and Joel Embiid are both on it, can you really afford to roster 2 guys who, for all real purposes here, are veteran leadership guys, who are veteran mentorship guys that are not going to play big minutes for you and proved to you last year that you can't count on them to be big minute guys at this point in their careers?
I think it's a twofold thing. I think as soon as I saw that he opted out, I knew that they were going to bring him back because you don't opt. He could have just opted in and left him hanging. And there's the relationship there with VJ Edgecombe. I think it's that. I think it is the Kyle Lowry to the Tyrese Maxey type of vibe that we had. I think it's the Eric Gordon to the VJ Edgecombe type of vibe that we get.
Amy,
I'm just.
This is an NBA roster.
I'm
They need
trying
to put
to
people out on the
talk
floor.
I'm trying to talk to you about it. I'm trying to help you work through it. He was always going to come back. Otherwise, he would have just opted in.
Right.
It was an inevitable situation. This is the best of them making the inevitable. As soon as you saw all these guys had player options, who was not going to opt in?
Oh, I get that. 100%. I get why they opt in. Go
But
take
Eric
the
Gordon
money.
did not opt in, so he helped them out.
I know he helped them out because this is the only place in the world where he's going to get paid more, but it's going to cost less.
Correct. You get more for less.
He's getting, 3.6, but now it counts as 2.2.
I cannot wait for the one game next year where Eric Gordon gets in and he drops like 15, and you're going to be like, this is it, and that'll be only the one game, and it'll be it.
I think I'm with Brendan Gunn on the I'm not going to feel anything in that game. I'm not going to let myself
you're
have
just
the
good.
emotions
No, but I'm
of
saying
Eric
you're going to be like, this is it, and I just hope you enjoy it because it'll be just the one game.
But that's the
82.
point.
Yeah.
You can't roster two guys.
But that bed was already made. The bed was already made. You had already rostered him. He was rostered last year with the
Okay.
player option.
So are we?
You're just
And
trying
now they're just going to bring back Kyle Lowry too.
No,
Kyle Lowry return.
no. Kyle Lowry's not coming back.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's not like me. Sorry, the way I said that, like what? That's just my personal opinion. I've not talked to Kyle. I do not know that. I do not believe in my heart of hearts that Kyle Lowry will come back.
All right. Well, in that
I don't
case-
know that they have that because his veteran minimum is actually pretty high,
All right. Well, in that case, forget it.
and I can't wait for someone to be like, "Hey, she's wrong. She may be." But I don't see how they do that. You already have Eric Gordon here. You can't have another one.
Brandon, before you take your vacation, Amy Fadul. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. The way you
Get
said
it
that,
out
I was like,
there.
oh, no. Amy's not reporting that. I don't think that's, I do believe when Daryl Morey said get younger, get more athletic, Eric Gordon fills the role that Kyle Lowry would fill.
So wait. Right, yeah. So I didn't want two.
We just want.
of the
You-
veteran
you
mentorship.
only need one.
One is fine. All right, so if it's just Eric Gordon, I get behind that.
I don't think they can, honestly, I don't think they can afford Kyle Lowry at his veteran minimum salary.
That works for me.
He's
all
it'll
due
be his 19th year in the league.
With all due respect, again,
see
you
what
know,
that would
but
be.
like when we talk about Kyle Lowry now, it's great Philadelphian, great career, nice guy.
Great college.
Okay, let's not get carried away here. Oh, come on.
He's up.
I did a Nova podcast this week. All right, I've done more for Nova this week than both of you.
That's nice of you.
It was very nice of me. I'm a fan of Zion Stanford, so I'm gonna talk
Listen,
about.
I'm tuned into the Sixers Summer League. I'll tell you that. You got a former
Mark
Wildcat.
Armstrong.
Yes, Mark Armstrong.
The fact that I know that is so wrong.
Steve Settle, I think is he with the Heat's summer league team? I should know this, so I might be tapped in to watch. Yeah, no, Spurs summer league team.
All right, there
no?
you go.
Well, come on, no, Heat, yeah.
I feel like you're just guessing now.
No, because he signed a contract. Yeah, he's with the Heat. I was gonna say I saw he signed like one of those Exhibit 10, I think, deals with the Heat, and I was like, all right, let's go. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching Steve Settle in summer league. I got time this weekend.
I just want to see what this veteran minimum would be because I think it's going to be like.
But actually, okay, if Lowry's not coming back, if that's truly the case, like he,
I just don't know how you could have both he
you
and Eric
can't.
Gordon.
That's the point of this conversation.
And I don't think they can actually fund him.
Okay.
I don't think they can actually fund him.
Then in that case, I'm good. I mean, I'm not thrilled that Eric Gordon's back, but if it's not two veterans that are taking up two roster spots just because it's like we need vets for our
Yeah.
younger guys, like Jared McCain, you got a year with Kyle Lowry. If Kyle Lowry wants to be with this organization, they got 25 assistant coaches. Like, you'd be a director of player personnel here and there, whatever it is. Like, if Eric Gordon wants to be, like, what? I can't have both of them sitting there at the end of the day.
It's breaking my heart I can't get to your level on anything. Wrong move, right move. Like I said yesterday, it's just nothingness with this team right now. It's got me in such a bad place. Like, I don't think anything they can do is going to change my mind about what's going to happen next season.
What about bringing back Quentin Grimes?
Like, I would like that, but I
It's
just
not
don't
going to move
think
the needle enough for you.
it's just not going to
Yeah.
do anything.
I think there's just so many big question marks because when you look at it, and I love that the odds will have like the Sixers be the fourth best team in the East. Okay. Because the caveat is if they're healthy. Well, we know that they're not going to be. No team is going to be healthy, and this team has shown that they can't stay. So you're just looking for the best version of them, and I think they can be a good version.
I got the caption for the tweet we're going to put out. VJ, claim number 7 per Amy Fadul.
That's right.
That's what Brandon's pointing out. Before he leaves for vacation.
Because when it happened, everybody's like, "Why is he not? Why is he?" I was like, "Well, because Kyle Lowry." Is he coming back? I'm like, I don't think so.
Hope again, with all due respect, It's over.
Yeah, Eric Gordon is there's your guy. There's your veteran helping the young guy along.
All right, it's fine.
Maxie's already been helped along. Unless they make him a
McCain.
player. Unless they make him a Maxie can help McCain. Maybe he's a player coach, Kyle Lowry. Because that's all he was last year. He was a coach.
Just a coach. Just be a coach. It's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I would like that. I'm cool with that.
You don't have to go to
By the way,
practices.
while we're talking about watching Summer League, TJ DeLeo, Summer League coach.
Assisted by Reggie Redding.
Assisted, by the way. Notice who's got the lead job.
Cats up.
Temple, T
That's
for
right.
Temple U.
That's right. All right, coming up.
Age to be instantly.
Get back to the Phils here for a second. I read something on the Athletic that I know the morning guys got into. Very intriguing name on the potential guys to be moved at the deadline.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
Oh, I was reading it. I had to stop, refresh the page, make sure I was at where I was at.
I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah, this could be fun. This would be a fun exercise at least. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, here in for Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer season.
Begun? Ray just left. He just said, I'm good.
Ray Dunn said he was done.
It was all the fireworks talk.
Maybe he's going to look for him because he's never seen him. He thinks they're during the day.
The Sixers talk did him in.
He's just done with it.
Hey, he's back.
Hey.
Look who it is.
I'll give you guys all a programming note. Tomorrow during this time, we're airing Best of the Mike Missanelli Show.
Perfect.
Now, your narrator for the Best of the Mike Missanelli Show also happens to be the guy hosting the Mike Missanelli Show today.
Who also is trying to get out of here.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to get things
You have
done.
to speak in third person while doing the narration. And Ray Dunn just breaks down the Sixers and says,
Ray Dunn tells you this. Ray Dunn makes an excellent point
I was
on
going to
this.
say, Ray Dunn is very, very bright, and you should listen to him. Weekdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here, 97.5, The Fanatic. No, I mean, I'm like Mike and I kind of assume that Mike's not listening to our Best of. So I like sometimes I'll like continue the argument and like try to get in an extra point during the Best of because it's like he's not going to debate back, and the chances that we have that debate between each other again are very slim. So yeah, if you want to listen tomorrow, it's like kind of like the end credit scenes like of a movie where like you get a couple of extra jokes that weren't in there, like the bloopers or like that's kind of what my voiceover is for the Best of. Like it's just like a couple of added scenes to a movie that you liked.
Okay.
Or didn't like. I'm not going to say you probably enjoy every argument we get into, but I'd like to think you do. I like to think
I think most people do.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
at least be able to weigh in one way or the other.
yeah. Yeah, they at least, I mean, they might exactly not like me. Oh, Andrew Else is coming after me today on the YouTube chat. I was going in to get to my story on The Athletic that with the trades. And
Yes?
I get sunburned just looking at Ray. Andrew, could you relax today? All right. This kind of hurts. I'm not even sunburned. I feel like I've got good color for what I usually am. Like I'm very pasty guy. Big Gun understands. He's a pale guy like me, but like I feel like for me,
A tan.
yeah, this is the stands I get. Like, look at me, I'm getting sunburned looking at Ray. I did have to go into the shade yesterday at the game. I was afraid. I didn't want to get sunburned before the 4th of July weekend. It was up at 4:13. The sun's just beating on.
So where did you go?
I went behind home plate.
Okay.
I was standing room only behind home plate.
Yeah.
Wonderful
I see.
spot.
Yeah, good spot.
All right. Speaking of the baseball team, I was reading that Jim Bowden put together a list of players likely to be moved
Okay.
at the trade deadline. MLB execs predict players most likely to be traded at the deadline. And I'm scrolling. I'm going through different names. I'm window shopping.
I was going to say, you're seeing if anything strikes your fancy.
Yeah, I'm like,
See if that guy, try that guy on for size.
yeah. Looking at it like, yeah, all right, maybe here, there. I scrolled all the way to the bottom, because I'm looking at the names. The last name in this story, Nick Castellanos, right fielder, Phillies. The Castellanos rumors just never go away. And for that reason alone, multiple general managers think there's a chance he could get moved if Philadelphia can find a better right field option. Castellanos, 33, is hitting .282 with 10 home runs and a 111 OPS plus. He's a well below average outfielder and is signed through 2026 at $20 million per year. So Philadelphia would have to pay down his contract to move him. All right. There has been the undercurrent pretty much since like after his first season here in Philly, where like it's always like could they get out of that contract? Could they deal him? Could they there's always been the kind of like murmurs. You feel like every offseason.
It's like, because it's what they said. Is there a better option?
Right.
With a little bit more. And that's not a Nick Castellanos. I mean, obviously he's the name associated with it right now, but they need more pop in the outfield. We've had the same refrain for 3 off seasons now.
Right. So I start to look around and say, can you find a better option in right field? Now, if you've listened to me once, for me, fielding, legitimately, pretty much every right fielder I watch, I'm like, yeah, all right, you could get better range from just about anyone. He will tell you he doesn't make any errors, which is true. That is absolutely correct. He does not make errors. Difficult to make errors when you're not getting to the baseball. But I will give him credit, does not drop the ball.
He has turned into a better outfielder than people thought.
Correct. He's been better than what you expected him to be in the outfield. And when they start to go down this list of right fielders that will be available, are you going to move off of Castellanos to try and get a redemption from Adolis Garcia? Exactly. Your sigh and move backwards in your seat was exactly what
I was hoping you'd give me a good name.
Brian Reynolds. Let's see. And that's like the list of like Abreu from the Red Sox.
No.
But left-handed bat. Otherwise, I would actually.
Oh, yeah.
I would actually consider that one. But like, the point of this
Ideally,
is
you'd like a right-handed bat.
what you would need to do in this scenario is make seriously some pieces move around. Like,
You'd have to have a whole shift.
and there is a decent argument to be made. If it all worked out for you, if you were able to address Pop in left field with a right-handed bat, and one that I've coveted in Taylor Ward for a long time, Kepler moves to right. Is that, though, that's more of a shuffling of the deck that, like, just kind of changes? Like, are you going to change the personality of this team just for that? It's hard for me to think that that's going to be something in the clubhouse that moves the needle, unless Castellanos brings you back some sort of a relief pitcher.
I was going to say, you have to have something to go in that bullpen.
Right. And that,
in addition to another outfielder.
I know that for a lot of people, they see this rumor and they're like, ooh, could they move Castellanos?
So you have to think about it through. You have to think about what it would do, what it would mean, and what the production you get back in. It's a three-fold
Right.
argument.
This would be the ultimate shakeup that I don't know if they want to do. Like, I feel like they're going to give this, like, if you told me Nick Castellanos gets traded this offseason, I'd believe you.
Right.
Like, I believe you. Like, that's a realistic possibility.
Because I think he was
In
up
season.
on the market last year.
In season, though, I see this and I say, yeah, I'm sure they're like looking to see if they could, like, if there's a big blockbuster that could like move pieces around. They get off the money. They get someone that they really believe in power wise that gives them a little bit different. Because like Castellanos and Bohm are kind of redundant. Bohm, honestly, I think is fielding his position a little bit better now at this point,
Yes,
which is
agreed.
something I never thought I'd really say about the two of them. But like in terms of like,
He gets you more RBI.
yeah, like they.
You would have to have a real, because I do think the clubhouse makeup is important. And listen, these guys, all at the end of the day, they know it's a business, and they're not going to all like hang their heads and pout because one of their buddies got traded. But it does change the dynamic.
Right. That's to me.
And
And
you
so
might
I
not be getting better. You might not be getting any better, especially if you move Kepler. But it's not that much. You're not better.
I listened to the morning show crew, and Andrew and Connor were both. And Andrew's a big Castellanos guy, and Connor, I think, also appreciates what Castellanos brings. And B-Gun, coming up, you could speak to this a little bit. They seemed like it was like, how could you even think of this possibility? It's one that I actually, like, in my mind would weigh out, how could I move the deck around? Just because I do feel like I have two right-handed bats right now that serve similar purposes. And if I could get a right-handed Pop and move him around and make it work, I'd at least listen to it. I don't know how much better you could get your lineup, though.
Yeah, that's what.
By moving him.
And I think
that's
you're moving
probably
around
where I
just
stop with this.
to shuffle things, just to shuffle them.
But I'm curious the way people feel about this out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think people would be interested in moving him. I'm not in that camp.
I'm not a move him just to move him guy. I'm a move him if there is a legitimate reason to make this work. And I'm curious at 610-632-0975 if this piques your interest just a little bit. Because, again, I'm not saying it. Jim Bowden's saying it. I'm just now going through the thought exercise of what it would look like. Coming up, we do have the news at noon. A lot of pressure on Brendan Gunn.
Yeah.
I would say this segment.
With the originator of it here, judging, listening.
As long as he's back on time.
Oh, that's so great. I was like, is he going to come back?
All right,
I'll just
you know
talk
what?
about it.
Forget it. Yeah,
You might
you
miss
guys
it.
do the rest of the show. I'm going down the shore. All right, maybe I'll be back next segment. Who sees?
Well,
Stick
that's
around
a tease.
Stick
Find
around
out.
to find out. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn here at 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies split their doubleheader. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies split their doubleheader yesterday against the Pirates. Game 1 got off to a rough start. Mick Abel was only able to get through 1 2/3 innings. He walked 5 batters, gave up 2 hits, gave up 5 runs. The Phils ultimately lost that game 6-4. Game 2, though, that was a different story. Christopher Sanchez was on the mound in that one, and he was dominant. He went 7 innings, struck out 5, only allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At the plate, Max Kepler became the 4th Philly of the season to reach double-digit home runs with his 2-run shot last night. Phils are off today, but they have a 4th of July matchup against the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow at 1:05. About an hour ago, Zach Wheeler was named the National League Pitcher of the Month for the month of June, so kudos to him on that one. Rumors have been swirling all week about a TJ Watt trade around the NFL, and some have linked him to the Birds. Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, and he said maybe not so fast.
And the fact of the matter is, I think the Eagles are planning and budgeting to pay their own players. So there's so many contractual situations and commitments that you have that it makes it hard all of a sudden to go trade for a TJ Watt.
Does not sound like Watt's going to end up in Philly, but the rest of the Birds, they're going to be reporting to training camp in just 19 days on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by the Electrical Workers Local 269 and the Electrical Training Alliance. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269, NECA, and the Electrical Training Alliance can offer a career with no college debt. To learn more, go to IBEW.com. Now, I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Not Mike Missanelli today. Sorry for you. I'm Ray Dunn. In for Mike Miss. We got Amy Fadul alongside.
Happy to be here.
Brendan Gunn producing the show. Mike will be back Monday. Amy will also be back.
I will.
Brendan Gunn will also be back Monday.
Monday and Tuesday.
I will be back Tuesday.
And so it will be gone.
Yes.
Right? You're back on Tuesday? Sure.
I don't think I'm ever leaving.
Yeah.
Permanently here.
I mean, he's running right now the I'm here every shift,
Yes.
every day type schedule.
Kinda like
Which that's a life I got accustomed to for a
Yeah.
little while. There was I think I did that 23 summer was like massive for that for me. Like I remember doing 23 summer like that. Honestly, last summer there was the you just have Ray do it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, he'll do it. That's fine.
I remember, like, I kind of blocked out my head. I was like, why didn't I do anything, like, last year? Like, I was out Tuesday at the game, or I was supposed to go out Tuesday at the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I didn't get to a lot of weekday games. I forgot I just hosted Tuesday night as well. Like, I forgot I just produced middays and also hosted. I kind of, like, blocked that out of my memory for some reason. Now, real quick, before we get any further in this, we got the news at noon coming up in a couple of minutes. Painter tonight, you're going to get to see
Yes,
up there in Lehigh Valley.
just saw it. Lehigh Valley just tweeted it out. It had been a TBD up until about 30 minutes ago. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
So Painter tonight. Again, to reset this, I'm still letting Abel make his next start.
Yes, he is.
I think he should make his next start against the Giants. We get to the All-Star break, you assess that. I'm cool with that. They were a little mum on that post game. Thompson was going to talk to him and talk to everyone. I mean, I feel like that's just standard procedure.
Right, after a guy with two starts. It's the walks that are problematic for me.
He needs to start attacking guys again. That was the biggest thing he did in his first couple starts. I
Go
understand.
right at him.
I understand you can have your confidence a little shaken by the fact that the Mets showed you what a big league lineup looks like, but hey, got to go after them. They can't hit him if you're throwing them in the dirt. Like,
It's just like that's what we're doing.
not competitive. Second thing here, and this is something that I would love to get a little bit of your perspective on. I don't know if you saw this in baseball. Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz placed on leave due to MLB betting investigation, which is another betting investigation going on in sports. Which
After Malik Beasley.
Right, Malik Beasley, which, my goodness, that story just gets like
It's great. That's like layers upon layers.
Yeah, it's an onion. That thing just keeps getting peeled back. And I'm like hurting for, like,
We're
I
going to
understand.
hear about these for a while.
You have the personal responsibility of what you do. And I understand that people be like, well, he was gambling away. And I have just I feel like the sympathy for him for the fact of he was in a massive debt. Like, he got himself in a lot of trouble early. This story that came out, I don't know what publication got it first. I read the ESPN story of it. Like, he's now subject of a lawsuit where, like, his financial issues were crazy.
Yeah, millions.
Like, the marketing company tried to get $650,000 back from him. There was a conversation of him not paying, like, his dentist and, like, a doctor and, like, basically, like, taking advances on things. Like, and for this also, all this came out right before free agency.
Yeah.
And, like, you are sitting there like, if I can just get to free agency, I can get
Then
paid.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Like, I don't know how the guaranteed money would work and how it might break if you were to get in trouble. But, like, you're thinking, if I could just get these paychecks, I can get.
That's the thing. He's chasing.
Is like absurd. And, like, all these different videos now of, like, what it was, 8.5.
I know when and he has the ball and it's whatever, and they like drove straight through and dunked it.
Right.
Like, it's such a bad look. I mean, I think that that's the good side of the social media is that now that people have, anytime there's allegations that come out,
yeah.
then that's like, well, let's do a deep dive, and they'll pull every clip that concerns whatever the player is they're talking about. And I just think you're going to continue to hear more and more about this. Not just for the fact that somebody gets themselves in trouble like Malik Beasley did as far as how, his finances have gone, but also just for the sheer greed value. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if you can, they will, if you have that inclination. What happened with Porter. That whole, he is the one that created that you cannot bet on two-way players because of the way that he was trying to fix the odds in his favor.
And this is just going to keep going. We're going to keep finding out so
it's
much
good.
more. We've hit the tip of the iceberg with this.
It's such a slippery slope. And I think that they knew it. You probably knew in the back of your mind or even in the forefront of your mind that this is going to be something that they're going to have to watch. And so that's what makes it even, like, dumber that the athletes, I'm like, they're watching this now. They've been watching it.
And
As
also,
soon
like,
as gambling came to the forefront.
I'm signed up on, whatever app whatever app wants to say that I'm signed up on. You're signed up on whatever app, like, your name, your social,
Yeah,
like,
you have
they're
to
gonna
prove
get,
who
like,
you are.
Also,
It dumps into your bank account.
this guy's Venmoing, this is just going to start this. I'm just saying, all right, we got to get to the news at noon here. All right, but before we get there, you're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Brendan Gunn, no pressure to you, but it's the news at noontime.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now, real quick, I realized that we have 2 produced opens for headlines with the morning show, both with the one and only. And now you go, it's brought to you by the one and only. What? Did we miss the part where we do the news at noon with Ray Dunn, or we just, do I get no branding?
It's just gone. It's just gone. No branding.
No
It used
branding.
to be.
No, it's
I've
never
heard
said
it.
that.
Oh, it's never said that?
No, it's never said that.
Did we just say it?
We've just said
We've
it.
just said
it's the
it.
news at noon with Ray Dunn, but the branding
They
doesn't
just
say
toss it to the side.
it. No respect around here. Absolutely. Nobody cares about the middays producer. It's fine.
A lot of people care about the starting pitcher in L.A. last night, Clayton Kershaw. Made a little bit of history last night, 3,000 strikeout. Became the 20th pitcher of all time to do that, 4th left-handed pitcher of all time to do that, and the 3rd guy to ever do it on one team. Here's the final strikeout of that 3,000.
The ravine rises, ready to erupt. 3K for Kershaw!
I mean, he's a masterclass of a broadcaster. Like, if that, like, I'll go that path of it for a second. Good for Kershaw. Can we say it's over now?
Yeah, I think we're all done.
Yeah, good for him. Like my immediate thing is that's super cool.
Lefty got it in the first 3 pitchers first 3 batters he faced. When he same thing. So Kershaw needed 3, right?
Right.
So same thing when Carlton did it. He needed 3, and it was 1, 2, 3 in his first inning.
That's pretty
like,
impressive.
that is like amazing.
That's pretty impressive.
Kershaw
That's
didn't do
awesome.
that, so never mind.
Yeah, Kershaw. Now, like,
He's obviously great.
tremendous. Look forward to
We're
the
all
Hall of
done.
Fame induction.
All
Like,
done. We're all done on the Clayton Kershaw.
thank you for getting through my youth of like I got to watch this dominant pitcher. It's time to be over. You guys talked about this on the morning show. I think yesterday leading into this, or maybe it was today.
Yeah.
I listened.
They all blend together.
But
talking?
Verlander, Kershaw, like all these guys hanging on. I get it. You got $40 million contract. No, walk away from it. But like, let me remember you for what you were and not what
Yeah.
you are right now. Like,
And I feel like you
Great
never even
stuff.
see Kershaw. He hasn't pitched.
yeah, he's more of a guy I see now in a jacket sitting
He
on the.
just sits on the rail. Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Hey,
so
he
good
used
for
to
you.
be
Good.
good.
I mean, great for you to get to 3K. I'm glad he stuck around long enough to get to 3K. But my immediate mind goes to, all right, I already appreciated watching Kershaw pitch. I don't need to see it anymore.
All right, sticking around in baseball, our divisional foes down south, the Atlanta Braves, they're having a bit of a tough season. Injuries left and right. Schwellenbach's done now.
Dude, Schwellenbach striking out, 12 Phillies and then having a fracture in his elbow?
Wow, everybody, when that came over, like, when did that happen?
It's unfortunate.
Also, ultimate burying the lead in that news release they put out. They put out the news release. It was the last sentence. Like, oh, by the way, Spencer Schwellenbach. What?
Gone. They're like, oh, he could come back. I'm like, he has a fracture in his elbow. Like,
All right,
Yeah, not so fast.
I'll shut up and let you go.
go ahead.
All right, well, the trade deadline's coming up, and you figure they're going to be sellers. Well, Joel Sherman of the New York Post and Major League Baseball Network insider, he says they should maybe trade their best player.
Should they trade Acuna right now? Here would be my argument to the Atlanta Brave front office on why it would be valuable to do this right now. Can you look at this team, which I think has almost zero chance to get to the playoffs now, down 4 key starting pitchers, their offense, Albies has gone the wrong way, Harris has gone the wrong way. You have no idea of the money you're spending on Profar, what you have.
Right.
So this might be a lost year. Can you see a championship in the next few years? I don't, because Albies has gone the wrong way. Harris has gone the wrong way. Sale will be 37 next year. You don't have depth in your farm system. This has been a great period for us, the Braves. 7 straight years in the playoffs, 6 division titles, 1 championship, big deal. By the way, we won that championship without Acuna.
Right.
He got hurt. We played the last
Did you
4
say
months of
we?
last season without Acuna and made the playoffs again.
we.
By the way, we have a better record this year without Acuna at the beginning of the season than with Acuna.
That's crazy.
So he's through the we, and I guess he's speaking as if he's a member of the front office. Like, this
Sure.
is what we should do.
That's a crazy talk. I mean, Atlanta probably doesn't care because that's a very apathetic fan base, but my gosh, can you imagine?
So, one
Usually
thing
one
I will
bright spot.
take, and this is now the Mike in me that's coming out here. I'll actually react to what you played for me, but also, like, my mind's starting to work like Mike's. I love in television when you guys are worried that like something's running a little stale in terms of a long conversation. Let's throw a little music under it. That's gonna it's gonna jazz it up. Like he's in the midst of his little monologue, and it's like
so we gotta jazz it up so it's not this like irritating soliloquy.
Yeah, but no, don't do that. Do it. Absolutely.
Do it. That's great. Yeah. Trade your best player.
Go ahead.
Only bright spot right now after your entire starting rotation practically has imploded on you.
Do you all remember what Acuna signed for?
200.
8 years, $100 million.
That's it?
His deal, he signed through 2026. 8 years, $100 million.
Oh, they're good about that. They
And-
get a lot of those guys early.
2027 and 2028 are club options. If you trade Ronald Acuna right now, you're going to get a haul for sure because of that contract,
Right.
because of what you
It's
get
a great
on it.
contract.
If you, as the Atlanta Braves, think you cannot build a contender around him in that time at that price, maybe it's time to step aside.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Wow.
time to let someone else take the reins.
That's a steal.
Yeah. So it's an absolute steal. The way you've been able to structure your contracts down there.
And with the talent. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
don't
go
do
ahead,
that.
trade him. Yeah, do it.
Do not do that.
Go for it.
I mean, yeah, go ahead, do it to get him out of the East. But
yeah, but
I would love it. Final story in the news at noon. Lane Johnson on the Pat McAfee show yesterday echoed a similar sentiment a couple of weeks ago that he said, and it's got to make Eagles fans feel good. 19 days away from training camp.
For me, I'm lifting heavy earlier in the week. Later in the week, it's kind of lighter weight for speed, and then the plyometrics and all that good stuff. So, man, it's just, I think just being consistent with it. And really, like after every season, you evaluate kind of where your body is and what you need to work on. So, every year is different. But, man, I'm feeling good. I mean, I made a statement. I feel better now, kind of in my mid-30s than what I did when I was 30.
Is the end near for him, or is
No.
it not?
no, that guy, no.
I'm so confused on where the end is for him. And I say this every
Keeps
year
moving.
when we go into the draft. I'm done with the let's find the Lane Johnson replacement thing until I'd have to.
Yeah.
We keep doing it every year. It's like, well, they could take an offensive lineman, and I get bored by that.
They could.
I'm not, that's a storyline. Every April we plug it into a show, we do it, and I'm tired of that show. I'm just saying, next year when the draft cycle comes around, if you see me producing that show,
You're not going to talk about
I'm just rolling my eyes back, oh God, I've been doing this conversation again. But I do think it's kind of insane to think that the best of him is still ahead.
I agree that I feel like he has come into his own in the last 5 years more than the first
Right.
5 years.
He's tremendous.
It's like
He's
Kelsey's
the
best
best
three
tackle.
seasons were
Oh,
his last
absolutely.
three, technically.
He's Lane Johnson's best tackle in football.
What are they cooking back there at NovaCare? What exactly?
Smoothies.
Yeah. All right. Hey, shout out Chip. Chip Kelly did that. That's right. You didn't think I could work Chip Kelly into that segment.
All
All right, we're going to reset the show when we come back.
Regret it instantly.
Some of the Phillies conversation we got into earlier on. Follow them, take it 2-3 from the Padres. We'll get to that.
Raise
Revisit-
violations.
Yeah, we're going to revisit the firework thing, too, because I know people are going to get upset with me over that. And the Castellanos thing, I'm just curious how people feel. Seeing his name pop up in a little bit of, could he be moved? Probably not. But could he? Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, filling in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody.
I would not miss it. I was not going to miss it.
Basically, you knew that I was going to make good on the fact that you guys were coming after me for being late
That's
back
right.
from break. Yeah.
Like, nope.
All right.
Music plays
got
in
it.
the chair.
No, I got it.
I made it.
Good work by you. That's a professional right there. That's been in the industry. Honestly, television, it's all about being on time.
It's very important.
Very different than this whole thing. We're like, we'll take a break here.
That was the first thing I learned. I was like, what is these? The break times are just kind of arbitrary. No, television, that break takes you.
Yeah, well, they're not really arbitrary, but,
You can push them a little bit.
yeah,
Especially when you're waiting for a press conference.
Don't even get me started.
I'm sorry.
Don't even get me started. That was, nope.
Sorry.
Nope. It's fine.
I know.
It's fine.
I don't like tardiness.
Drives me nuts.
It's always what I think about when a press conference starts late. It's like somewhere Ray is holding the board right now. Just cursing whoever this is holding it up.
How many weeks till football season?
19 days until
19 days
camp.
to camp. So.
So
Oh,
19
great.
days until the first presser.
Oh, yeah. I got to wait so long to hear the wonderful, wonderful wisdom.
Dog mentality.
Yeah, let's hold up the show for, all right, whatever. I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
He won a
I'm
Super Bowl.
sorry.
I got to broadcast from a parade. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Start your press conference.
We're going back to the Phillies, folks.
For everybody.
Before I get
Just
upset
keep doing
again.
the same thing. Keep showing up late. You got to
Yeah,
keep it.
it
You got to
works.
keep the good mojo.
Keep
God.
the main thing late.
Keep the main thing.
This thing is dangerous, though. Like, though, having this next to me, the hotkeys board, I feel like I could get lost. Like, I've got the YouTube here. I got the hotkey here. I have to host the show, folks. All right? I got to get
a lot of fun,
locked
though.
in.
It's a lot
It
of
is a
fun.
lot of fun. All right, so we open up the show today. I just was so overwhelmed with the swinging back and forth of the Abel conversation. He was untouchable 3 starts in. He's untradeable now for exact opposite reason. Folks, he is more valuable to the Phillies, one, as a trade asset than anything else this season.
Correct.
That is something that if you listened to me 6 weeks ago, I said it. I'm going to say it again today for you. He is also still a valuable trade asset, despite what you watched yesterday. And I need you all to breathe a little bit about this. I need you all to just simmer down a little bit with the Mick Abel's lost everything. No, we're all going to survive here. And I ask you that question now. I want to talk you off the ledge if you do feel like they missed the boat on trading him. Because I don't think they did. Because, one, they were never going to trade him that soon. Because that's not how Major League Baseball trade deadline works. There were like 6 teams out of it when he shut out the Pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates should happen to be one of those teams. And on top of that, I'm curious for you, what do you think the runway is for him in Major League Baseball? Both of us think right now he's got to start before the All-Star break, then we reevaluate.
It's a Giants. It's coming up. I think it's just you want to see him more against the bats that are more emblematic of what a team would be interested in his services for. Right. When you're in the playoffs, you're not going to be playing. You're not going to be facing the Pirates.
No, you are not. And I think obviously
You will be facing the Mets or the Padres.
And both of those, to be quite frank, both of those,
they did not go well.
yeah, starts did not succeed for him. But he's young. He's 23. He's got good velo on his fastball. He's the type of guy that if they get traded somewhere, you're going to hear the analysts say, well, the extension he gets, he's throwing 96, but it really feels a little bit harder coming at you.
I think that he needs some tweaking things. I mean, you'll have to remember he spent time with the big league coaching staff in spring training, and then he's been in the minors. So I think working with him will be helpful. He's talked about how much Caleb Coffin has helped him. He's talked about how much he's trying to learn on the fly, but that's what he's doing. He's learning on the fly to pitch at the big league level.
And on top of that, I know people want a Marsh benched. I'm asking our fan base collectively to stop with the advocating for the benching after every bad base
It
running
ain't
mistake.
happening.
It's not happening. It's a conversation that I understand why you don't enjoy watching them make dumb mistakes on the base paths. It's unacceptable for him to do that in that situation.
And it's really more emblematic of the fact that they've had a lot of base running blunders in the last couple of seasons.
Correct.
And no one has ever been benched, so all of a sudden you can't do it now. It would be more egregious, it would be more bench worthy if you did not run out to first base on this team rather than in the line of what they would do.
And I'll even say it right here. I don't think they get benched in that scenario either.
They should.
What happens, we'll see.
If you trotted to like Fernando Tatis, I would think at least like your teammates would look at you and be like, dude, stop. They did that with Boehm when he would like kind of do that stuff.
Fair. But Boehm, I think it's a bigger...
Right. Well,
There's more inner workings there. So I just think we need to stop with that question. I'm asking more for everyone relaxing. I think
Just
everyone
let
needs
it,
to
just let it go.
Everyone needs to breathe on the Abel thing. I think he's going to be done. Okay, I think if he's here August 1st, maybe I'll go get the jersey just to prove that I was wrong. And with the Marsh thing, I understand people were upset and the base running was a disaster, but they don't bench for this here. And also, if you're benching it for Rojas, who also is making the same base running mistake.
It's just like, what conversation do you have with a player that almost and should have gotten the last out of a game that you're trying to come back in at third base with the top of the lineup and a guy that has blasted 26 home runs?
You would think he realizes he messed up in that scenario.
I if that was me, my head would be hung so low. And I honestly, when they first reviewed it, I thought Marsh thought he knew he was out because he put his head straight down straight away. And I was like, he is embarrassed. He's embarrassed. I would be.
Yeah, as he should be in that scenario.
You cannot get the last out at third base.
So you can get on both those with us, 610-632-0975. Coming up, we spoke with Jason Stark yesterday, and he mentioned an outfielder that might be able to help this team. I'm a little less sold on the ability to help this exact group just because of what I feel like they're lacking. We'll get to that conversation, and apparently we've got a list of violations I've committed just within this week. I mean, I can't win today.
Yeah, left and right.
I am limping to the holiday weekend right now in terms of apparently I have made everyone upset. This is the rare scenario where I think, honestly, Mike might be defending me. I think Mike would come to my defense with the
I will defend you on some. The fireworks, not seeing them in Philly and not even being here is strange. It's just odd because you're such a Philly guy.
I am. I just haven't been there. All right, we'll get to it. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
An up and down doubleheader. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies split their doubleheader yesterday against the Pirates. Game 1 got off to a rough start. Mick Abel was on the mound for that one. He was only able to get through 1 2/3 innings. He walked 5 batters, only gave up 2 hits, but he gave up 5 runs. The Phils ultimately lost that game 6-4. Game 2, though, that was a completely different story. Christopher Sanchez was on the mound for that one, and he was dominant. Sanchez went 7 innings, struck out 5 batters, allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At the plate, Max Kepler became the 4th Philly of the season to reach double-digit home runs yesterday with his 2-run shot last night. The Phils are off today, but they host the Cincinnati Reds for a 4th of July matchup tomorrow. That game's at 1:05. Jesus Luzardo is on the mound. Speaking of being on the mound, Zach Wheeler was just named National League Pitcher of the Month for the month of June. Kudos to him. All week long, rumors have been swirling about TJ Watt and a trade around the NFL. Some have linked his name to the Birds. Well, Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, and he threw water on that idea.
The fact of the matter is, I think the Eagles are planning and budgeting to pay their own players. So there's so many contractual situations and commitments that you have that it makes it hard all of a sudden to go trade for a TJ Watt.
Does not sound like Watt's going to be here, but the guys that are, they report to training camp in 19 days on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale is your chance to reclaim your restless nights and upgrade to a premium mattress. Get matched and sleep at night now with Mattress Firm. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Flyers, Sixers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This was well worth you sweating there to get this song in. I saw that. Brendan Gunn in there. By the way, hi, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli alongside Amy Fadul. Brendan Gunn, I could see the mind was spinning, and then he started to quickly put a song in there. I'm watching as the board's moving. Good work by you, though. Good work by you. I appreciate the bounce back music here. What I'm not going to appreciate is Dawood. If you've listened, Dawood, friend of the program, YouTube, tweeting, texting in, always involved, has apparently put in a list of violations that I have committed this week. And I just want off the rip here, we're going to get to our truck driver, Reggie, who's calling in on the Phillies, and I think also to rip me as well. Because this has gotten personal. This today is not like a sports take thing. This is just like, what don't we like about Ray? And I'm kind of here for it.
Let us count the ways.
Let's just kind of purge this today, and then we'll get through this. I'll come back after the holiday weekend. I'll see y'all Tuesday. We can all go back to being normal. So let's go. The list of things from Dawood that I've done this week that has been wrong.
So preface it by saying, Ray's my guy, first off. So he wants that to be known. But he says, first off, he comes in with stars in his eyes talking about the Cowboys the other day. Meanwhile, they choke more than anybody else. More than me in the update yesterday, he says, when I died. He ditched his friend to go to the Phillies. Didn't even stay for the fireworks show after, and he's never seen a fireworks show in the home of the Declaration of Independence. Fourth off, he says, he's talking about the news at noon, somebody hijacking it. He was the original hijacker of the vault. Rough week for Dickie Dunn.
It worked out for me. I did tremendous vaults. I know he's busy being national right now in the studio behind us. That's Andrew Salciunas. Salciunas, I think if we gave him truth serum, he'd say, yeah, you know what, Ray did the better job with the vault. I think he's come to that.
Wow, he can't hear you at all.
No, he can't, but I think he would accept that. I think he's realized it. It's all right. We can all admit things to ourselves at one point. All right, so to go through this list again, the Cowboys thing. It's not about them winning a Super Bowl or competing for the NFC. It was about this being a 2-team race in the NFC East and whether or not they can make it a 3-team race.
No.
That's what that conversation was about.
The reason they can make it a 3-team race, I don't know. What do you qualify as a race? They're going to be the third best team, but the Giants are atrocious.
Yeah, but I think they can legitimately, like in December, I think we could legitimately be talking to them around them in the standings. They won 7 games. I'm not doing this argument again because I'm sick of. I'm not standing up for the Cowboys.
They've won 12 games before. What did they do?
But that's not the point of the conversation. That's what Dawood. That's what you, Mike here, Brendan Gunn. No one's actually listening. Everyone's hearing what I'm saying, but no one's listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're winning the division. I'm not saying they're doing anything important this year. I'm just saying that they will be better this year than last year.
You said double-digit wins.
Yes.
And they're going to compete with the Birds.
That's 3 more wins. Compete in the division.
That's accomplishing something.
They did get better.
No, not to anyone else, because everyone keeps taking this conversation to say, Ray, they're not going to win anything, which I agree about. I agree about that. And now Ricky's looking like he's going to attack me like I'm Barry Bonds. I got just so many ops around here.
I do think that they're going to be better than last year. I think that they do have another receiver to go with CeeDee Lamb. I don't think George Pickens is like all world. I think he's a real problem child, but that's just
healthy Dak with better weapons. Ferguson's good. Pickens is good. CeeDee Lamb's one of the best receivers.
Their running back situation got better?
I mean, it can't really get worse than it was last year.
Dowdle had 1,000 yards.
Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams?
Listen,
Ew.
It's not good. It wasn't good last year.
And they replaced Zach Martin with a rookie.
Correct. Again, I'm not telling you to win the Super Bowl. I think
they'll be better.
They're going to be better. A healthy
Well, that's
Dak.
a very low bar. 7 wins. They'll be
10
better.
10 wins.
Okay.
Saying it right now. All right. With that, the other thing that was about this, the fireworks thing. I didn't stay for the fireworks because I needed to get home.
It's not just the saying for the fireworks. It's the fact that you've never seen any kind of American celebration of our independence on Independence Day weekend in the place where the birthplace of liberty. This is where our nation was founded. They signed the Constitution down there. Have you ever even thought? Have you ever seen the Liberty Bell? Have you passed by it?
I've gone in there.
I just didn't know like where.
I walk around Old City all the time.
That's why it's so surprising that you haven't been here on the 4th.
I read every single historical marker I walk by. Like I actually, I annoyed an ex of mine because I would stop every time for a historical marker. She got it was one of the things she hated about me.
That's one of my favorite things, especially like walking around the Old City.
She became history.
Hey, hit the rim shot.
There it is.
Good stuff by you right there. But like, I stop and read all the historical markers. I love living in the city. I love the city. I just have not found myself in the city for July 4th. I realize
never made
now.
a plan to do that. A lot of people would do that.
And I will next year. 250. Hold me to it. I'll be here.
And then you won't come back again for another 50
You're a
years.
tourist in your own city if you're going to be here next year.
Yeah, like next year's the time when everybody's like, all right.
Oh,
see you
yeah.
guys
All
later.
right, B-Gun. What are you doing tomorrow after you get done with the show? You going down to the city?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought so.
I
Thought so.
spent my
Don't
time.
happen.
I did my time.
Yeah, when were you in there?
It's been a good, maybe a decade since I saw it in the city, but I saw it.
Yep. Were you living in the city at the time?
Yeah, Temple.
There you go. Oh, you see, there you go. I lived in the city. I saw it. I lived
All right.
on
Spin
the
zone.
water.
Make you guys feel bad for me. I can't really do that, but I'm going to at least try here. 2020, COVID. Wasn't down there for it. COVID.
People still had fireworks.
Yeah, but I was working, had a job, trying to keep myself distracted. 2021, I was living in North Carolina for the summer. Couldn't do it then. 2019, also working. So maybe I've just been busy earning an income.
2022, 2023.
2022, where was I? I was definitely down the shore. I definitely did I was post-grad. I had no job. I definitely did 2 weeks down the shore after that where I was just like, I got nothing.
2023.
Probably here, if I had to guess.
You're probably down the shore. 2024, you were in Chicago.
I was in Chicago. So maybe I just am working so hard.
Yeah.
Birthplace of weird pizza.
Dogs. Dogs with sport peppers and celery salt.
Cement beaches. Elite summer city. I was a big fan of
I
Chicago.
can't wait for next year to come and you find yourself doing something else and you're not in the city for
No,
4th of July.
mark it down right now. We will. You know what? I will have a live.
No, there's going to be there's the soccer match. The World Cup will be here on the 4th.
Right now, listen.
So there's a Club World Cup game tomorrow.
To someone said living in a beach house at the Outer Banks. I was not working in the Outer Banks. I was actually working in the Inner Banks. Okay, you hear a lot less about the Inner Banks. They call it that. Okay, I can't. That's what they called it. It's a town of 5,000 people. Of course, you haven't heard anyone call it that because you don't know anyone from there. That's what they called it. I'm telling you, it's the Inner Banks. There's no TV show. There's no, Madeline Klein doesn't show up on those shores. It's a lot less fun. Okay, it was a great town. I enjoyed hanging out there. But
I just looked it up. Oh, it's near Shawan.
yeah, I worked in Edenton. Look up Edenton. Edenton, North Carolina.
I see it.
Yeah,
Notable towns.
Notable towns. Yeah, it falls in the
Edenton,
noble towns.
Washington, Bath, and New Bern. Shawan County.
Yeah.
So you chose these places over the birthplace of liberty.
I chose working to try and get myself into this industry, Brendan Gunn. If I didn't do that job, who knows if I would have ended up here.
It is the butterfly effect.
I probably would have ended up here anyways because
You went to Temple.
I don't think Andrew and Salciunas and I connected because I worked down there.
And you were never going to live in North Carolina, ever. Stop it. Don't even say it. Don't even entertain it.
Every once in a while, I have that moment of what if I just...
No. And what you come up with what?
I come up with, I do it for about an hour. I'm like, you know what? I probably should just stay.
You would never.
Yeah. I'm in my 20s. Everyone thinks everyone I know right now is somehow in Italy. I don't know how everyone's on these European vacations.
You have a lot of people that's blended.
Yeah, everybody's either engaged or in Europe or both.
Engaged in Europe.
Yeah, please. That's literally my best friend.
Would you ever live anywhere else? Realistically for you.
I mean, I loved San Diego, but I don't think I could afford San Diego.
Yeah. They pay you in sunshine out there.
Yeah,
That's
I can't.
what's in.
Yeah, that's exactly. Chicago, I couldn't because of winter. I like Boston, but Boston also winter, and Boston,
yeah.
I don't think I could do the sports fans up there. With all due respect to our sister station, the Hub up there, I could not do Florida. I could probably do a Charleston, maybe. I like
for your life.
I don't know. I liked Wilmington, North Carolina, but it's a little small of a city for me.
It is, but for your life.
For my life, I think I ended up hitting the lottery being born here.
It's great. I chose it.
It's not good enough for the 4th of July.
Nope. It's good.
Coming up, we'll get back to the
weekends.
Phillies with Reggie, our truck driver. We'll see where he's checking in from. And the Justin Crawford conversation. Can he truly help them? Maybe. Potentially. The comparison that Dave Dombrowski made on Starkville bothered me a little bit. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Working our way through the 12 o'clock hour, which is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months. Rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. Alongside Amy Fadula, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli. I always think it's funny, like from someone else's perspective, listening to me read something about heating and cooling system.
Yes.
Because I would imagine that most of our audience is like,
That guy doesn't have his own heating and cooling system.
yeah, like my way of solving my heating and cooling system is, hello, Mr. Landlord?
Yeah. Come
Please,
fix it.
please help.
Well, he needs to know about the heating and cooling.
Yes, and I would recommend Service First HVAC to help out.
As you should.
Yeah. We actually, and I'm moving out. I know if we've talked about this on the air a few times. There was a stretch when I moved into this apartment. We went through 3 washers in a matter of like 4 months. His solution to the washer having problems was just replacing the washer every time.
Well, depends, I guess, on the fix would be cost-wise.
I will be livid if it comes out of my security deposit.
Because it's not your fault.
It's certainly not my fault. I'm not messing with the washer. I mean, I'm washing my clothes, but other than that, I'm not doing anything with the washer.
Nothing untoward as far as overloading it.
No. Well, no.
I mean, it would take a lot.
Yeah, it would take a lot. I keep up with my laundry a decent amount. The problem is getting it out of the dryer. That's one of my issues with it. One of the issues we have with the Phillies is the outfield. And we're going to get back to the sports talk here. Because I could go down a rabbit hole of my life, and quite frankly, no one cares. But before we get down to the Justin Crawford, I do want to get to our truck driver, Reggie, who's making his way through West Virginia. Reggie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. If this ends up working for me, which my screen has frozen, let's see if we got him. Oh, this is good.
Did it happen?
This is good.
It still says hold. How about now?
Oh, nope. Now we got him on the... Nope. All right. Well,
okay.
Reggie. Now, where we go? Now we got you. Wow. Good work by all parties involved here.
Hey, Reggie.
Right.
How you doing?
Hi, Amy.
Hi,
How
Ben.
you doing, Amy?
Good, Reg.
And Brendan Gunn, is that Gunn with 2 ends?
It is.
2 ends.
Oh, okay. All right, Ray, the only thing I had was a little bit dismayed you haven't watched fireworks.
So someone came to my defense in the YouTube chat. Charlie actually came to my defense. There are a lot of people who are out of town for the 4th. I bet a lot more people than you think haven't seen the Philly fireworks on the 4th.
In their life. That live in the city.
You said what? Yeah, 10 years, though?
I've been there 7.
Oh, okay.
7 years.
7 years, all right.
Amy was trying to add a couple years to my age there. Yeah, I appreciate her looking out for me.
I always round up.
Yeah. Please don't round up.
All right.
Make me a lot older.
So we have to give you a symbolic 17 minute, 76 second penalty. How do we do that?
I'll leave 17 minutes and 76 seconds early. You guys can finish the rest of the show without me. And that'll be how I get punished.
All right. We'll just keep Reggie on.
I'll get paid for it, though.
Right?
Real quick, Reggie, I see you're concerned about the bullpen. What do you got for me?
Well, your question was about
Abel?
Something. Too soon or no, it's not. I like what you said. One more evaluate with the extra time and the All-Star break and all that. Yeah, young fella is what you said, 23?
23 years old, Reggie.
Yeah.
A child, really. Really a child. 23 is so young. And I appreciate you checking in with us, Reggie. Get where you need to get quite safely. So he's giving him one more start, too. And I appreciate that. Now, while we're having this conversation, both you and I are giving him another start before the
yes, we are.
The All-Star break. And if you disagree with that one, I think everybody needs a temper. They need to calm down a little bit. Because I think a lot of people freaked out over him yesterday. Now, someone that people want to see make the trip from Lehigh is one Justin Crawford. And Jason Stark joined us yesterday, as he does, Wednesdays, 11:25. And we were getting into a little bit of what they could do with the lineup. And it was interesting on Starkville. Dave Dombrowski used a couple of examples when talking about deadline approaches in the past. Mm-hmm. And he talked about with the Red Sox that Benintendi and Devers coming up mid-season for them in their stretch runs served as, a way to help them and a way to reinforce their lineups. I will point to the 2016 season where Benintendi comes up. They lose 3-1 in the postseason, or 3-0, 3-1. They get bounced in the divisional series. So they didn't win a series. Next year, Devers comes up late in the season. They also got bounced in the divisional series. It was the next year where I think Devers finally plays like 100 games, becomes a little bit of a version of himself. Also, Mookie Betts has one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen, and that helps him win a World Series.
Sure does.
So you you could hear the tone in my voice listening to Dombrowski talk about those examples of like, okay, they helped you, but where did those seasons lead in 16 and 17? Here is Jason Stark talking about the potential of Crawford being that guy for the Phillies that comes up.
They're on pace to hit 50 fewer homers than 2 years ago. Now, we should put that into context. The entire sport, home runs are way down compared to 2 years ago. It's interesting, but it's real. And they need the guys on their team who are paid to hit the ball over the fence to start doing that more. There's no doubt about it. Bryce has to do that when he comes back. That's what he is paid to do. But you know that old expression, speed never goes into slumps, right? And Justin Crawford can really run. He's got tremendous baseball IQ. He's got a funky swing, but he does make a lot of contact. He's got a high on base. I do worry that guys who hit the ball on the ground as much as he does are going to struggle in the big leagues because defensive information and defensive positioning are so good
and so
precise.
Right there.
And
that is it right there. The concern right there. Because I let him into that question. It was a little bit of leading the witness by me. Oh, look at me. I worked with 2 lawyers for so long, I could start using law speak. But a little bit of like, hey, there's not enough pop here. I see pop as the problem. Why is bringing up an average guy the thing that helps here? And the 60% ground ball rate that we keep referring back to concerns me for the fact that defenses are just better. Like that leap from AAA to the major leagues.
It's a big leap.
It's a bigger leap. You're going to run into teams, especially postseason-wise, that are studying everything down to the science of it and also probably better defensively equipped. I know people will say, well, you're a postseason team here in Philly and you don't have good defense. But you would say that most of those teams at least have adequate defensive, metrics on you, but also defensive ability out there across the field. That concerns me about his ability to come up here and just hit. And that is his sole value really to you in that sense of like hit and then running.
Yeah,
and
got to get on base.
Got to get on base for that. I just don't want to see him come up in August and be like, that's the acquisition they made was actually the acquisition from within. It's like it's good video yearbook speak. You got the narrator that's like,
yes,
the true addition at the deadline
was one from inside the organization.
Justin Crawford was and then they go into his backstory and he comes up and you get like the one big hit he had in August.
He was
and it's
a
like,
prospect.
Yeah. I can't have
family history, lineage.
The Crawford family was once on an unfortunate side of baseball history that favored the Phillies.
He was on the right side of history this year.
This time. And if we have that story, that's great. But he
does have a good on-base percentage.
I know, but I can't have that be the way they address the lineup.
No. I think it could be something. But to me, the number one thing you heard Jason talk about was the pop and the lack thereof. Crawford doesn't have that. He's got speed. He can get on base. He doesn't have the home run pop.
And honestly, right now,
Marsh
has kind of played your way into being the center fielder.
His last month has been good.
I get it.
I wasn't going to say pretty good. It's good.
I can feel the looming presence of the anti-Marsh fan club behind me doing a national show right now. But he's played his way into being your center fielder. I want them to address left at this point.
I think it's more like he hasn't played his way out of it.
Right. And what options do you have there in center?
That's why.
Across league. Go get me the pop from left field. I know. I feel like I'm a broken record with this thing.
Well, yeah, but you need to start identifying where that pop could come from.
Right. Taylor Ward. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. We got a couple more weeks, then I can stop talking about Taylor Ward again until next July. Yeah, I'm just too excited for it.
I know.
Coming up, quarter century teams. They're a big thing right now. We're in that time of year.
Yeah.
Also, it is the quarter century. Jimmy Kempski put together one for the Eagles that I really enjoyed reading, and there are a couple of back and forths that I'd love to have based off of this. It would be the quarterback position is my favorite. We're going to start there. Okay, we're going to start over there. And whatever Brandon Gunn has on right now, I'm livid about already. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you here on the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A split doubleheader for the Phils. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. Yes, the Phillies split their doubleheader with the Padres yesterday. Game 1 got off to that rough start. Mick Abel was only able to make it through 1 2/3 innings. He walked 5 batters, gave up 5 runs. Was not the best start for the young righty. Phils ultimately lost that game 6-4. Game 2, though, that was a different story. Christopher Sanchez got the start in that one, and he was dominant. Sanchez went 7 innings, struck out 5, only allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At the plate, Max Kepler became the 4th Philly of the season to hit double-digit home runs with his 2-run shot last night. Phils are off today before a 4th of July matchup tomorrow afternoon against the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is tomorrow at 1:05. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound for that one. Speaking of being on the mound, Zach Wheeler was just named National League Pitcher of the Month for the month of June. Kudos to him on that one. Rumors have been swirling all week about TJ Watt in the NFL and a trade. Some have linked his name to the Eagles. Well, Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday and threw water on that idea.
The fact of the matter is, I think the Eagles are planning and budgeting to pay their own players. So there's so many contractual situations and commitments that you have that it makes it hard all of a sudden to go trade for a TJ Watt.
Does not sound like Watt's going to be here, but the rest of the guys, they report to camp in 19 days on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast, easy? Just go to Indeed.com right now. Indeed.com/credit. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, the Flyers, and the Union, and the home of the Ray Dunn is a Cowboys fan. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Closing in on the 1 o'clock hour here on the Mike Missanelli Show. I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike Missanelli alongside Amy Fadul. Brendan Gunn producing the program until I can find someone to take his spot because he's driving me nuts today.
Tremendous sign.
Oh, I forgot that we put that up.
It's right there. No.
No.
That stays there. It stays there. It stays there. It stays there. I'll put it back. Be Gunn. I got you.
Absurd what's going on here at this. It's
the love fest.
July 3rd and everyone's lost their mind.
Well.
All right, I need this weekend. You know what? I need this weekend. I really don't. So I've found that sitting in the producer chair, I love my ability to use the drop board against the host. I found that is now my least favorite thing in the world.
Tables reversed.
Well, yeah. Sean Robin on the weekends has been using the drop board against me. He's been starting to take clips of things I'm saying. Like he's doing a really good job of like using my own voice against me.
Interesting.
Which
the tables really have when the mentor.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now I'm seeing the impacts of what happened. Like this is what happened to Salciunas when I was filling in as a producer. I would use drop board against him, and now I understand how it feels. Something Salciunas talked about this week on the morning show was this all quarter century team that Jimmy Kempski put together, and it piqued my interest because I like these types of things are great for like back and forth, like almost like a barroom type thing.
Conversation starters.
So the ESPN story did the all quarter century team, which was a couple weeks ago, and we had a little back and forth on it. Dawkins was on it. I believe Mailata got on there as like a practice squad player.
It's hilarious. The guy's never made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, Kelsey and Lane both got on there. And it's interesting to think about what the Eagles' all-quarter century team would be here. And I'll start with the quarterback position because this is exactly where the debate will begin. There's 3 quarterbacks on this roster. Give me the 3 quarterbacks on this roster.
McNabb.
True.
Jaws.
All-quarter century since 2000.
Oh, sorry. That doesn't make any sense. Foles.
Yep.
Hurts.
Yes. So the 3 here.
I was thinking it was all time.
Kempski's got Hurts as the starter, McNabb as the backup, and Foles is quarterback 3. And the explanation here?
Foles is the natural backup.
Yeah. McNabb was more talented than Hurts, but I'm a sucker for quarterbacks who play well in the biggest moments, so Hurts is my answer. There was also a choice to be made between Foles and Carson Wentz at quarterback 3. I chose Foles since I know that the entire locker room will like him, and he'll support Hurts and McNabb instead of wishing that he were the starter instead.
Well done on that one.
So this is a conversation I have a lot with my with one of my best friends, actually, who I went to the game with last night, where it's like you can't tell the story of the 2017 Eagles without without
Carson
Hurts.
Wentz.
Wow, if you can tell.
You really want to say Jalen Hurts.
Without Wentz, which is true. And Wentz in that season, just by pure numbers, you'd say, and he holds, some of the records here where it'd be like, can you tell the story of the 21st century Eagles without Wentz on that team?
No, you can't. I mean, he was playing at an MVP level that year.
So it begs the question, but then again, you can't tell the story of the first Super Bowl without Foles. Like, of those 3 quarterbacks, did Kempski get it right, basically, with the 3 quarterbacks?
Because it is Foles, because Foles gets him to the promised land, and that's going to ultimately put him over. Yes, the table was set by Carson Wentz that season, but Foles is the one that came through with it.
And I don't think I would change
there's always
a thing about the quarterback depth in this list.
There's always going to be the what if with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, of course there'll always be the what if with Carson Wentz.
Does it tell you something about this franchise's quarterbacks, though, where you're talking all time and you're arguing Carson Wentz and Nick Foles?
25 years, but yes, it does.
25 years, yes.
Honestly, but to your point, though, if you go all time, the conversation's still there. There's not like this huge history like in the last 70 years that you're like, oh, well, what about?
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also it comes down to the ring thing because most of the conversation about quarterbacks always comes down to, well, how far did you get me? Like McNabb.
Well, he got you to 6 NFC title games?
McNabb,
5. 5. We'll always love you.
Yeah, 4 in a row, and then the 5th was the last one. Yeah. We got you. I got you.
Number 5 will always love you.
But I think ultimately Kempski gets this right with the starter.
Yes, because his point about it being the biggest moment. There is obviously the other detraction that comes with anybody that talks about it, and it's one of the reasons that Jalen Hurts is not on these top 10 lists all over, is because he has got the best offensive line. He's got one of the best offenses because he's got some of the best skill players in the game, and A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley. Donovan McNabb had none of that.
Right.
He had the best year, the one he did was the best year that they had ever had. Statistically, he was still able to put up the numbers with James Thrash.
Yeah. Understandable. Like, I know a lot of people, like, and the McNabb, like,
which is why his stats, I think, are better when you look at it.
Right.
Because he didn't have anybody to throw to.
It's just like the disappointment. How many of the times did he get into the postseason and have that moment where you're like,
But he got you to the postseason.
He did.
Think about, so say you're down and you're a Miami Dolphins fan. Who is the best quarterback to ever play there?
You're gonna give me the Marino is not?
No, he is.
Yeah, but are we? I don't know. Are we a Marino? Like McNabb, to me, I feel like we're
Marino's a better quarterback
right.
than McNabb.
But I mean, to make the argument here.
Yeah, the argument is that at least you got there.
Yeah, I understand. At least
he didn't have the so the argument is that McNabb didn't have the stuff to get you over the top, and that could be
right. Which is why I kind of fall for that. Like
but statistically, he's
have Hurts starting in this. Why I would agree with Hurts being the starter here with Kemsky.
Because I agree with him because of the way he's able to shine.
Yeah.
I said it earlier. In 22 Super Bowl, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes.
Now, Neil Deaver also adds an interesting wrinkle to this one. Because we talk about 4 quarterbacks of the 21st century for this team. In this list, when you go down here, there's some of these like incredible one seasons for players that lift them into the conversation. I can't at all make a case against one of these 3 guys, but it's a name that I at least have to bring up. Vic coming back and having the season that he had. I understand. There's no way I could put him on this list, but I do see Neil putting this out there, and like he can't get past any of those quarterbacks for me because Foles gets you a Super Bowl MVP. McNabb was the all-time Eagles quarterback before Hurts, and Hurts is now probably the all-time Eagles quarterback for you. But at least throwing in the name in there.
For the one season? Really, and it's really, people, they remember the one season. They remember 2 games from that season. Yeah. Let's be honest. You remember 2 games from that season, and they were great games for him.
Still was electric to watch.
He always has been.
Let the child in me enjoy the fact that
the Michael Vick experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Washington game, incredible. The Giants game, incredible.
But so while we're talking one seasons here, we move on to the running back. Saquon Barkley's the starter. Barkley, McCoy, Westbrook, Sproles there, specialist, and all that he could do. I can agree with that listing of it. I don't really need to justify like Miles Sanders onto this list or Correll Buckhalter. Or
Barkley's the starter on the All-Century team?
On the All-Quarter Century team.
Ahead of the guy who is the leader.
And that would be another talking point.
It was an incredible year. It's not like he had a good, like Vic's year was a good year. This is like a record-breaking.
Should have been an MVP.
Statistically insane year for Barkley.
Correct.
Chance to set the record. Did set the record for combined yards in postseason and playoffs, or in regular season.
Got you Super Bowl. I have a tough time making McCoy my running back too when he is the all-time leading rusher.
Yeah, I would too. Which is crazy.
But if you're going off a skill, on this one.
But it's the same argument. Statistically, he's better than Barkley, right? He's the most rushing yards in Eagles history. Who has the most passing yards in Eagles history? McNabb.
Right.
You're not starting him, so you can't start.
All right, so you say by that logic, I also can't start Barkley. All right, so in that case.
No, but you can. You can.
Or I can't start McCoy, sorry.
Correct.
I can start Barkley, yeah.
Correct.
All right, fine. Keep with the same logic here. The 3 starting wide receivers, the 6 wide receivers ever. A.J. Brown, T.O., Deshaun Jackson, Devontae Smith, Alshon Jeffrey, and Jeremy Maclin.
Give it to me.
A.J.?
A.J., yes.
T.O.,
yes.
Deshaun Jackson, the 3 that start.
Yes.
Devontae Smith, Alshon, and Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah, the Maclin one I kind of blanked out on for a second. I think that was a product of what that offense was at the time.
But also a product of the wide receivers you've probably had here for the quarter century.
That goes back to what B. Gunn was talking about. These are not great. It's not great. It's more of an indictment on there was a real dearth for a while of talent.
So
which is why it made it more impressive that McNabb had those numbers.
Yeah. You want to start McNabb? Are you trying to start McNabb here?
I kind of am.
I'm not starting.
I'm not going to, but I kind of am.
So
just to be your antagonist.
Are you going to start McNabb and Barkley?
That sounds great.
So wait a second. You're telling me that you're going to give me the all-time Eagle logic for McNabb, and then you're going to give me the one season of Barkley, Amy Fadul?
Yeah,
It's funny because if you make the starting lineups out of merit for being starters and then face them up against the guys like a Hurts, a Barkley, a T.O., the other team might
you're
win.
Like that other team.
Yes.
You're like the other team better. Yeah, no. You do start Barkley, and you absolutely start Jalen Hurts. Because those guys have proven at the highest level that they can perform. I just think that there's the knocks against the guys like a McNabb or the fact that he didn't have anybody to throw to. So it is a tougher assignment to judge him truly.
It is. Now.
But I would never start LaShawn McCoy over Saquon Barkley.
The whole T.O. McNabb thing also, like we're playing into this a little bit more, but we'll go about who our alpha dog quarterback is here.
So in this scenario, I would have Jalen Hurts with T.O.
And well, in this area, Hurts, we had the whole storyline of him and his top receiver having a little problem. Everyone got past it. Super Bowl was won. Or at least it got past it enough for Super Bowl to be won.
T.O.'s a lot more volatile than A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but do we think that the ego impacts a little bit more of McNabb more than the ego impacts Hurts?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm trying to go
he
here.
He keeps the main thing.
So we'll react to a couple more of these because I think it's a fun list to go down.
I want to keep going down the list.
Also, I see on the line, on a day in which it's been made pretty much the unofficial Comedy Central roast of Ray Dunn, we have the man who's tried to do this 1,000 times and has been unsuccessful 998 times of them. That's Ish in Levittown. So we will talk to him coming up. And I guess that'll be like the way I get into my holiday mode, where once he's gone, I can stop being stressed.
I need to talk about your pennies.
Oh, yes. I'm starting to, yeah. We'll get into that, too.
I'm going to talk about your pennies.
About superstitions in this world, whether you believe in luck. Because I think I'm not running out of luck, but I'm running out of belief in it. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Once in a show, all right, it happens to everyone. Twice in a show, that's a trend.
Try to get stuff done.
That's a trend. That's probably a meeting with management. Not today. Like I said earlier today. Today, for just about everyone across, I feel like the country, it's kind of a run the clock out type of day. Today's the type of day. Pretty much, it's like the Eagles' offense, like late in a game where they're leading. We
already put the hammer down.
You just hand it to Saquon. Like that Steelers game where they got the ball with 10 minutes left and they just never gave it back.
That's it. We're just going to keep the ball. It's our ball now.
I would say that's what today is for a lot of you at work. You just keep running the ball. Just slowly work your way down the field.
Yeah. Start sending out your I'm away from the office emails.
Honestly, if I worked a normal job, I'd be gone by this point. I think at this point, we might be your soundtrack to the drive to wherever you're going to enjoy the holiday.
Well, thank you. Everybody drive safe.
Yeah, please do drive safe. Drive safe. If you could get off the roads within the next 45 minutes, that would be a massive help to those of us that are trying to navigate.
I think a lot of people are already like where they need to be, or they're going there right now.
I'm hoping. I really am.
It was not very trafficy.
Took me I'm not going to complain, but a couple Fridays ago, the drive. It's the same spot. I don't understand why we don't.
You cannot talk. Stop it.
The roads. Why? No.
Why aren't they wider?
Lanes.
Why aren't there more lanes? Why doesn't 76 have more lanes?
Well, that's the stupidest thing in the world.
Let's put a major thoroughfare in a giant city. I'll give you 2 whole lanes. Good luck, everyone.
And I know the people that grew up around me. 422. The genius that thought, let's connect these 2 areas with just a 2-lane.
Just the 2 lanes. You get 2.
It's like the Blue Route in Delco. It's awful.
It's
2 lanes too.
And it gives you 3 for a little bit.
Yeah, and then people get over, and then it just makes it worse.
It's the whole suburban sprawl's happening. Everyone's moving out to the burbs.
95, we got all kinds of lanes.
Yeah.
You get a lane, and you get a lane, and I get a lane.
But I don't use 95.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I use them all.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
That's right.
I was walking out of the studio in the break, and you were making the schedule probably for another big thing you have coming up next week.
I had to look up my work schedule and see what's going on for that. Yeah.
That calendar's getting a lot of work there. All right. We'll continue with this quarter-century team in a second, but I am going to go to the phone lines and talk to a man that I'm excited to talk to. You know what? Take a positive mindset to everything. We're going to Levittown talking with Ish. Ish, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. I just wanted to talk about the all-century team. I agree with Kincade, what he said. I agree with it. Only thing about the running back, Saquon did it for 1 year. And Sean McCoy had a little bit, not a little bit, he had a lot of yards. So I'll put LaShawn, Westbrook, and I would put Barkley because he did it for 1 year. And I just want to bring up the Sixers to Amy. Do you think we're going to make any other moves?
Yes.
For this offseason?
I do. They're obviously up against it-ish because of they just don't have a lot of money. Right? I mean, we all know that. But I think that they have to make some more moves. The roster just isn't filled out enough for my taste. That bench is not filled out enough. And one of the biggest moves, obviously, is the Quentin Grimes question and what you're going to do about him being a restricted free agent.
That's what why I have 2 more things real quick. Why didn't they sign Yabusele? Because it was only $12 million he got from the Knicks. I think that's kind of cheap.
Yeah, I think it is very cheap. That'll be a question that I would have for the front office. My thought process, and this is just me at first blush, is they thought that they could get a cheaper version of him, which is crazy to think about because it is very cheap, but that they knew exactly what he was and they feel like they could get it. They either already had the version of it or could get a cheaper version of it. And younger. I mean, he is 30 years old. Not that that's old. It certainly isn't. But
a lot in front of you at 30.
There is a whole lot.
2 quick things. Amy, what do you think the season is going to happen during the season? Do you think there's more win totals or?
I mean, the bar is 24. They will have more than 24 wins.
I don't know if I could do the show if they have less than 24.
They had 24 wins last year. They'll have more than that. I think it will be better. I mean, that's a low bar, obviously, Ish. I mean, I'm talking I'm joking with you, but it's just such a big question mark, and it's always going to be a question mark when you have a guy that's oft injured. But the upside with Joel Embiid is such a high upside. So I think they will be. I feel like that they will be playing past the regular season.
Okay. Or is Ray there today?
I'm leading the show, Ish.
You're
Oh,
literally.
I'm sorry.
He said he welcomed you to the show.
Oh, Raymond. I mean, Lil Way. Are you going to drink? For the 4th of July? Are you going to have the little rocket popsicles? And then after you get done eating the popsicles, you're going to have all the red stuff on your lips, like lemonade and Kool-Aid. Are you going to have it smeared all around your mouth and run around in the backyard, Raymond? Wayman?
All right, I can't hate, and honestly, you're gonna get. Okay, I was gonna say for a second there, my thing wasn't working again. You were gonna get to stay on the line because I wasn't gonna be able to get you off the phone. All right, I'll say in terms of Ish calls, I mean, I feel like the secondhand embarrassment that most of our audience feels when he goes into one of those, it was very high on that one specifically.
Yes.
I don't think it was his worst. Still wasn't his best. I would say it doesn't go to the 2 best he's had.
Okay.
Topical. I appreciate the bringing up the 4th of July. The rocket popsicle thing was a good start. I gave him
a little
credit.
weird.
Yeah, it did get kind of weird. I didn't like the way the path that went down.
Yeah.
It got a little too much, thinking a little bit too much about it. Little uncomfortable with that, but we're gonna let that slide.
Okay.
Kind of lost the plot there when he went to the lemonade and the Kool-Aid thing.
Yeah, because he was trying to talk about like how when kids drink Kool-Aid, but we were on the popsicle, so why are you drinking lemonade, which is yellow and does not cause that?
Right, yeah, and it's not a flavor in the rocket pops. So got to kind of lost the plot, tried to gather himself.
Wait, it's not isn't the white lemonade?
Is it? Oh, all right. Well, in that case. But
it
the white
doesn't matter. It doesn't leave a ring around your mouth.
Yeah, so it lost the plot. His attempt to get back to it was kind of tough.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, so Mopar, I don't need to hear this. It's kind of weird. An F- from Andrew. I don't know. I don't give him an F. I do think he started out with a good idea, and most of his don't start out with good ideas.
Yeah, it came from a place, but it wasn't a well thought out, well formed situation.
No, I don't think it was well thought out.
You're running around in the backyard.
Well, the backyard thing, he could have like.
Well, then it would have been more like cookout time, so he could have gone down that path, but he did not. He veered off again.
You could have. I don't know where else this could have went, but like I felt like there was potential there.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. When he started, I was like, oh, he might have me. He might be able to get me here. I was very disappointed by the following like 75% of that. I keep telling him he should hire writers. I don't know what Ish does in his free time. He should hire writers.
He should hire writers.
I mean, he's just not like some people are naturally gifted at the whole humor thing.
That ain't it.
No, and he unfortunately is not. He got me once really good. And the other time, there was another time he didn't do too bad.
Then he's just like trading in on that.
Yeah, he's cashing in on it. All right, we'll get back to the all-quarter century team. I see Derek wants to chime in on Hurts and the offensive line, and I'm assuming this is going to be a pro McNabb take, I think. I don't know. Derek, you could surprise me coming up. We'll get more into the quarter century team. And at some point, I do want to let Brendan Gunn reminisce on when he loved baseball. Back in his day. We'll get to that coming up. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports.
Well done. Well done.
I'm pro this fireworks. And I'm also
Like the
not
4th of July
anti-fireworks.
in Philadelphia. You kind of are.
I'm not.
You gave it a meh.
It's, yeah.
You gave it a meh.
A lot of people are meh on me. That doesn't mean they hate me. They're just like, I could do with with or without him. I think you could be meh. There's plenty of people out there that we were all like meh on. You ever met somebody like meh? It's not like I don't want to hang out with the person, but it's not like I'm going out of my way
If
to
I
hang
have
out
a
with the
person like meh, I don't want to hang out with a person that I feel like meh about.
No, meh. You met them. They're not harmful to your life, but they don't really provide a ton.
Well, that's not a meh. That's just like you don't think anything of them.
Which is meh.
Oh, meh. It's more of a negative.
It's negative. It's like me with the Sixers.
No, you're not meh.
No, I feel like you're less than that.
You're way worse than meh. Meh meaning.
Triple meh.
The definition of meh is an interjection or adjective expressing lack of enthusiasm, interest, or strong feeling. It's in Merriam-Webster. Look it up.
That is where have we gone that's an actual word?
Meh. You've never met anyone you're meh about?
I have. I just don't want to hang out with a person I'm meh about.
I'm not looking to hang out with them, but I'm also not going to avoid hanging out with them, which is like me with the fireworks.
All right, I get you.
I'm not seeking out the fireworks show, but I'm also not against the fireworks show. I'm meh.
I don't know.
She's meh about you being meh.
I am.
Meh. 1:27 on July 3rd is when Amy Fadul went meh about Ray.
I don't know. I love Ray. Ray is my fave. But I just don't know how you, I guess I just don't know how you could be meh about something so joyful as fireworks. Or if you really just don't like them. Because I think that people don't like fireworks, and that's fine.
No, you're fine not to like them. I'm not going to convince you to like them, nor am I going to tell you not to like them. I'm just going to tell you if I'm out at a game and there's a fireworks show, if it fits my schedule, I'll stick around. If not,
okay,
I'm out.
That's fair. And how did it not fit your schedule last night?
Because I wanted to get home and prep this show.
And is that what you did exactly when you walked in the door?
Right when I walked in the door. You can ask my roommates.
All right.
610-632-0975. Text the text line. If you're listening, if I have supportive roommates, vouch for me, please. I'm begging you. I need to make rent this month. All right. Going back to this all-quarter century team, I think...
what are the other ones?
The other ones, tight end, is the group that you would expect. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Brent Selleck. I mean, that's been kind of the... Oh, geez.
Sorry, my water bottle.
Right over there?
Yeah.
Kind of what you would expect for this. And Ertz ends up being the starting tight end in that scenario. Goddard 2 and Selleck 3, which I don't really have a problem with.
Yeah. Goddard had a great postseason.
Yeah, and honestly, the value for him to this team, I think we spent, the first 2 months of this offseason talking about what that is. So I'm not necessarily against where he has him listed. The offensive line is where it gets interesting, because for all the conversation we have of, wow, look at the history of this team at receiver, look at the history over especially the last 25 years, offensive line.
It's good.
Has been tremendous. And I think there's a wrong that's righted here in this story with Peters being the left tackle of choice here. I think we, as a city, remember Peters at the end, kind of like I was talking about Kershaw earlier, and we don't appreciate Peters at the peak.
One of the best.
And
Hall of Famer.
As much as I love Mailata, it's got to be Peters.
Did you realize that Jordan Mailata had not made a Pro Bowl? He was second team All-Pro, which is a higher honor, and has never made a Pro Bowl.
It's kind of odd.
It's exceptionally odd.
But I guess, for that position specifically,
Jordan Mailata has turned into a tremendous left tackle. But the standard here and a lot of places for the longest time was Jason Peters.
And I think it should be for especially this list.
Absolutely.
And I think him getting the starting job works. Landon Dickerson slides in next to him. Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, and Lane Johnson are your starting five. Mailata, Jurgens, Trey Thomas, Sean Andrews, and Todd Hermans.
See, I do have a little bit of a revisionist with Sean Andrews. I don't think he was that good. I mean, 2 years in there that I...
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you're taking those two... if we're taking the one season of Saquon here as an equal,
all
can
right,
we take
right.
the peak of Sean Andrews?
Peak Sean Andrews.
Peak Sean Andrews. So, all right.
Michael Phelps.
I don't really have
SpongeBob.
I don't have a problem with the starting five that Kemsky puts out there.
Yes.
But I'm curious now, because we got Derek on the line that wants to talk about Hurts and his offensive line. I'm curious if the argument that Hurts has played with 3 of the 5 starters here would go against whether or not he would have him as his quarterback. Let's go out to North Philly, talk with Derek. Derek, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
How are you?
No, the argument is actually for Hurts because they always doubt his skills and they make excuses for everything that the receiver. He has the great receivers. Marino had great receivers. It's always an excuse for Hurts when he wins. If you put another quarterback here with that line when Wentz was getting all smacked up or beat up, and they doubt the skills. I just hate the fact that we always hear an excuse for Hurts that why he can't do something. First it was he can't read a defense. He can't throw the deep ball. He's not accurate. He has to eliminate all the negatives that we bring up every year, and that's the main one now. He has a great offensive line. That's why Mahomes is one of the greatest, because his offensive line is trash and he still get the job done. But he still had Tyreek Hill. Like, it's always receivers that's great on these quarterbacks teams that y'all never, take away from them being good or great. It's always something else. I don't understand that.
So what specifically you take exception to what we said about Hurts?
That y'all keep bringing up the only reason why he's good because he has an offensive line.
We said the opposite.
Right.
I said if you dropped in Donovan McNabb right now, McNabb doesn't get the credit because he had a worse O-line and his skill players were nowhere near what Jalen Hurts has done a lot, and he doesn't get credit, but you can't automatically put Jalen Hurts above on this list, in my opinion, just because McNabb didn't win the big game. Well, he didn't have some of the skill players. That was what I said.
But the thing is with McNabb, and I like McNabb, but when it was clutch time, the ball would skip. Then, my bad, with the patting on the chest.
Oh, yeah, the pat on the chest. The pat on the chest was something that drove people crazy.
That was why we put Jalen Hurts first, and that's why Jimmy Kincade had in there, that when the big moment was there, Jalen Hurts arose. But I feel like people do discount McNabb even more so now because he doesn't have the Super Bowl, despite being in 5 NFC title games. He basically had one receiver that would be on the list, right? And he had one offensive lineman that would be on the list. Correct?
Yeah, it was pretty much one year or two of that top receiver.
It was just T.O. the 1 year. It was a great year.
But to that caller's point, like I understand, like I do hate the look at the weapons he has conversation with Hurts, given the fact that like how many quarterbacks all time, especially how many quarterbacks in today's NFL are you pointing to? Like look at what they have, look what they like. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't hurt for Burrow's MVP numbers that he's throwing to Chase and Higgins. Like, I understand he doesn't have the offensive line that Hurts does, but it doesn't hurt for his numbers he's throwing to those guys. And also that's his offense's entire identity. Like, that's part of the reasons the numbers he puts up.
And that's the thing.
And, like, Lamar Jackson has been aided by the fact that his tight end play over the past couple of years, really for his entire career. Mark Andrews has been good. They found Isaiah Likely now, and he's been really good for them. Like, you are always going to be a beneficiary of the guys you have around you. So, I don't know. Now, you also said we had a little text into the personal text line here.
Yes.
Of one Amy Fadul about someone we left.
Because I said you mentioned Trey.
Trey was on this list.
The second team, like a second team.
Yes, he was a backup on this list.
Correct. I thought you had mentioned.
Now the one we didn't get Runyon.
No.
On this list.
Is it because of the tail end of it being on the 2000? I mean, John Runyon was tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, he had a tremendous run there in the.
Especially if you're going to put Sean Andrews on this list.
Right. Well, I think maybe we're going for a little, I don't know. That's a good point. Well, maybe.
Right, yeah, no,
maybe,
he was Eagles 2000, 2008.
Yeah, no, I think he fits the timeline for it. Maybe that's one of the egregious misses here on this one.
I think it's odd to not have him recognized in any way, shape, or form.
Now, I had one further issue with this. Going to the cornerback spot, and it's explained in here, but on the corners. Asante, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean as the 3 starters.
Yes.
Darius Slay, Sheldon Brown, Troy Vincent as the 3 backups. I understand, and the explanation is given here, I don't want to have 2 tackle-allergic corners on the field at once, so I can't really have Slay opposite Samuel. I would have Slay opposite Samuel.
Yeah, I get it. I get the caveat on that because you need somebody to be able to just lower the boom a little bit, and those guys, they're there for picks. They're not there for tackles.
You know who I got lower in the boom in the secondary? Dawkins on this.
Of course you do. So that's all you need. That's enough boom.
Yeah. So that's the one. Like when I look at Kempsky, I understand his rationale for it, but I would be like, yeah. If
Go ahead and put Slay out there.
Like Mitchell, if we were to redo this, oh God, I guess the half-century team would be the next time we visit this. Well, whatever forum we have to revisit this in 25 years into the half-century, I would imagine Mitchell ends up.
I would think so.
Passing Slay, but if we're talking just at the quarter-century mark,
right now, Darius Slay.
I would take Darius Slay on that team. Also, quick, the linebacker: Jeremiah Trotter, Zach Ball, and D'Amico Ryans, Carlos Emmons.
That says a lot about where this linebacking core has been.
I mean, Bond did have like the.
It just says more about what the linebacking play has been like for the Eagles for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Zach Bond was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's going to be on the list.
Right.
It's a very small list, though, for linebackers here.
Yeah. Linebacker's been worse than receiver, I think we could say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you've had flashes.
But would you argue that wide receiver more important?
100% more important. Especially now. It's a throwing league.
I realize what I'm saying in this town. A lot of people love a good linebacker.
Because they'd like to have one. And they got one. Zach Bond.
All right, coming up. We're going to let Brendan Gunn reminisce on old times for about 5 minutes. We're also going to get to, I have a few quick talking hoops questions. We have you here. I want to get a little like NBA fodder out there. That's, listen, we did a little Sixers. I have more questions about the general NBA that I want to hear your perspective on coming up. I see Bill Winwood also wants to get your conversation on that. And then we'll get to the holiday weekend. That's the plan. Unfiltered's coming your way at 2 o'clock. They got the full cast of characters for today. So look forward to that. Alongside Amy Fewell, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Mike Missanelli here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Daft Punk is playing in my house. Right? Right? That's right. I got the song right.
Yep.
I'm Ray Dunn in for Mike Missanelli. Amy Pruitt alongside myself. Brendan Gunn produced the program. Last segment to hang out with us. Unfiltered coming up at 2 o'clock. And Brendan Gunn, you know, I say this every time you produce the show when I'm here. Silvana, I got to talk to Brendan Gunn. He's my producer. All right? So you can't.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
You could have pulled the reads during the break. Oh, yeah, he's got a freezing studio. I haven't gone anywhere near that
Feels
studio.
good in here.
Probably feels terrible. You have to go get a
It's
winter.
90 degrees outside, you sicko.
It's not 90 degrees in this building. It's
cold.
God. All right. Anyways, while we're talking to you over there, Brendan Gunn, I always appreciate when you send some of the ideas that might get me a little fired up, interested in what you got. And inevitably, every time you send me one catches my eye of, man, Brendan Gunn, I couldn't see any further on either of these things.
I'm surprised by this one.
No, but go ahead. I want to give you the floor with something. It's not really bothersome to you of what like Thompson did, but
It's just it's grinding
nostalgia.
my gears. I'll tell you that.
Oh.
2 times this week, there's been opportunities for our pitchers to go out there and throw a complete game.
Oh, yeah.
And Ray's poo-pooing the idea that it's old man yelling at the cloud. There's only one World Series winner a year. I'm not going to remember Christopher Sanchez going 7 innings strong, 85 pitches, if they don't get it done. I need something to harken back on in case this team doesn't get it done. You know what I remember about 2011? The good times when Roy Halladay threw 8 complete games in that one. Cliff Lee, 3 straight complete game shutouts. Hell, Cliff Lee once threw a 10-inning complete game. They lost the game, but he went 10 innings. You're telling me pitchers these days can't go 1 measly complete game just so I can go to bed happy at night? 85 pitches last night. You take him out of the game. Zach Wheeler dealing the other night. Take him out after 8 innings. He couldn't get 3 more outs. You couldn't let my guy get 3 more outs. How is this old man yelling at the cloud? Like, what has changed in the past 15 years that these guys can't go out there and throw a complete game once in a blue moon? I'm not asking to do it like it's Whitey Ford in 1929. I just want them to go out there and throw a complete game every once in a while. Give them the opportunity so I can remember something from this season just in case they don't win it all.
That cloud is really hurt it. That cloud is duly embarrassed for that dressing down. That cloud is so sad right now. He is hanging his little cumulus nimbus head.
It doesn't make you
in
sad.
shame after being yelled at in the way that you just yelled at.
It doesn't make you sad that Shawnee cannot see a complete game?
Shawnee saw Michael Lorenzen throw a game. Shawnee doesn't care about that. Look at Michael Lorenzen no-hitter. Shawnee's like, yeah, that was awesome.
It did ruin him.
Oh, wow. Wow, I didn't have to throw a punch back at you. You just punched yourself in the face with that argument.
But I'm not saying you're telling me Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler are going to fall off the face of the earth like Michael Lorenzen?
But to what end? Just so you can have your little moment of joy?
Yes, why else do I watch sports?
I think the best visual I got out of that whole argument is him saying so he could go to bed happy. Yeah. I'm imagining Brendan Gunn settling in for a nice evening.
The irateness when he sees him come out of the 8th and he doesn't pitch.
85 pitches.
I'm thinking after the game, and he's going to bed pretty soon after the game, so he's got to be up for the morning show. And he's just sitting there on the bed, just like this. And his wonderful fiance goes over to him. Babe, what's wrong?
They took Sanchez out of the game. 85 pitches.
What did I do? Did I say something?
Yeah. Do you have a bad day at work?
It's that sleepy
Is everything going on with your family? Is everything all right?
Did Salciunas do something to you in the morning?
85 pitches. Can you believe it? I'm going to go to sleep pissed off right now.
They took him out after an arbitrary number. They say age is just a number. Innings are just numbers. If you only threw 85 pitches, why take him out of the game?
Cloud is so sad.
Oh, man.
Roy Halladay, 8 complete games in 2011.
Like they used to.
Cliff Lee had like 6, 3 in a row. Sanchez was dealing last night, 85 pitches, and you take him out. The guy had like 6 innings where he got out of the inning without double-digit pitches. You can't trust him to get 6 more outs?
You know what's insane about this? Imagine him in a different market. Like you delivering this speech in a different... Like imagine if you were a Rays fan or basically a fan of anyone that's like not the Phillies, because everyone complains about how early the Phillies pull their pitchers and their starting pitchers actually throw usually on average one of the most innings in all of baseball. I can only imagine you in like the 5th inning watching, like if the Snell thing happened to you as a Phillies
Oh,
fan.
yes.
I actually,
Bad.
yeah, I think you would have lost your mind, but I wanted to let you get that out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys are not on board with this. Like, what happened to the good old ball fans out there?
Well, they're starting ball games now at 6:35 so we can fit in a fireworks show afterwards. So what's happened
Just
to our
for
great old
ungrateful
game?
people like you to leave early.
The 6:35 start is ridiculous, by the way. If we're going to start yelling at clouds here, I'm going to get on my soapbox.
What's your beef with that?
Ball games start at 7:05.
I like 6:35.
I don't.
Give me
Wait.
6.
What? Yeah, I'll take a 6 o'clock. Why don't?
It's so difficult for people to get down there at that time. It's so early.
You work until 2 o'clock.
It's not for me. I'm
Okay.
looking out for the people.
That's nice of you.
I'm getting out of work
Somehow
in
they've
15
managed
minutes.
to have 46,000. Somehow have made it
Every
somehow,
night.
Like somehow have made it down there.
Oh yeah. No one ever thinks about how inconvenient it is to get down there.
They don't.
They do. What's the first thing when you see someone, when you meet up with someone at a game?
Well, that's-
how was traffic? Oh,
Well, the
fair.
reason they do it earlier is because of that, for like the kids and stuff or whatever.
School's out, kiddos. We'll let you stay up one night.
So
a
you
week.
want it just at 7 o'clock in the summer.
I mean, listen, I'll take the compromise instead of this 6:45 stuff.
It's usually 6:45.
Yeah, I know. It's too early. True ball game starts at 7:05. What is this, Little League? What, the lights on too late?
They haven't started at
Well, lights in the league, some of
7:05
them.
since you were at Temple.
I was gonna say it's it.
And that's back when it was a true American ball game. All right, now that I yelled at the
Oh, you
clouds,
guys
following you
both
yelling
are
at
just-
clouds, we're going to get to the Ask Amy About Hoops portion of the program
Yes,
here.
great.
We're going to go out to Wynwood. We'll start with Bill. Bill, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Thanks for taking me, guys. Ray and Amy, you're tremendous together.
Thank you.
Really, really good. It's a pleasure to listen to your repartee back and forth. Really nice.
Thank you, sir.
The other thing I want to say is I've been holding this in for a week and a half. I'm an old guy who loves the NBA. I am sick of watching the MVP push off with his left hand every single shot he takes. I want to know what you think about that, Amy. And if you're not sure about it, if you could watch a couple games,
yeah,
you will not believe
trust me.
it.
I've seen SGA play. My problem with it is there is no problem. If they don't call it, why wouldn't you do it?
I want them to call it.
Well, that's a referee problem. My issue is that, and I hear you, he does push off and he likes to create the space because they're all up on him because he's the MVP and he's one of the leading scorers in the league, if not the leading scorer the last couple of years. But if they're not going to call it, why wouldn't you push off? Why wouldn't you create space? They don't call it.
I agree with that, but I'm telling the refs need to do something because what's happening to me is it doesn't matter if he's covered or not. He just pushes off and gets space. And let's say luckily we have a great season and we get to play them in the finals, which is ridiculous, but who knows? I want to start that seed now so they call it in the finals.
Amy's got some pull. I think Amy can help you out there, Bill.
That's a
We appreciate
referee
the phone
thing.
call.
There's all kinds. I hear you, and I think that the game is officiated in a completely different way than it was even 2 years ago, much less 10 years ago. The push-off, I mean, there's always been a push-off. Everybody always has that arm bar, and you create the space, and you try to wiggle your way down in there. If you use that to your advantage, like, the thing is, if you don't call it for SGA, then don't call it for anybody else. That's always my beef. If you're not going to call it, be equal about it.
I'm not starting a war with the referees when Embiid's still on this team.
That's right.
So that's my official take on the matter.
Yeah, well, I hear the same thing about Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just, all right, well, he pushes off.
I'm not starting a war
Whatever.
with the referees, but we still got Embiid on those rights.
I hear you. I'm
right.
sure it's hard to watch.
All right. Calling this quick hoops. I'm going to give you 3 different questions.
Okay, quick hoops.
And you're going to 30 seconds to answer each. All right? First up, what do you make of the Knicks' new coach?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, another rehash. I don't know that Mike Brown's better than Tibbs. Like, is that an upgrade for them? I was very confused by that move. It must be some kind of, edict from the team itself, the players. They wanted a more player-friendly coach.
Possible the Knicks are getting their own way?
That's all I could think about. Is like he's known as a player-friendly coach. I think he can coach. I don't have anything against him, but I just don't know that he's a giant upgrade over Tom Thibodeau.
All right, second question for you. What the Bucks? What in the world is going on in Milwaukee?
Every time I see something else, I don't even have to look down to see if it's something with the Bucks. It is crazy what's going on there. Crazy. Almost as crazy as the Nets drafting 5 guys in the first round. But the Bucks, the East is still open. And they're just looking at it being nah, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Miles Turner doesn't move the needle for you?
Not as much as they want him to.
No. If you were Giannis, are you still out?
Yeah, I'm absolutely out. The moves you're making don't give me any confidence. You're trying to keep me, and you're making these moves?
All right.
No.
Last one for you. I know how much you love LeBron. What do you make of the chaos? Where does he play next season?
Yeah, I hate that he brings this drama, and he brings it because he is one of the best players to ever play the game, and I understand that. But my affinity for LeBron is well documented. Anybody that knows me, that I think he's the best, and I love watching him play. I don't like when he does this extra stuff. I think it's all a smokescreen. I don't like holding teams hostage. I don't like holding rosters hostage. And just say what you're going to do. You've been in the league long enough. You've been around the game. You knew you made a mistake when you did the whole taking my talents to whatever. You knew that was a misstep. Don't do it again now that you're 40 years old. Don't do it.
All right. And that was our first ever edition of Quick Hoops with Amy Fedor.
Thank you. That was
like
good.
quick hits.
Yeah, I like that. Quick hoops.
Yeah, I came up with that as we were talking to Bill.
It was well done.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's pretty much all we got for you today. I know we got a couple minutes here before we get out of here. So you have Phillies duty tomorrow and Saturday.
Yes. So Phillies duty tomorrow, 12:30 pregame show, Saturday 3:30 pregame show. So make sure you tune in for both of those. And someone asked on the chat, and I've gotten this question a lot, why don't the Phillies do fireworks on 4th of July if they have a home game? It's because they have fireworks all over the city, on the parkway and on the water, and they're not going to compete with that. So everybody has an early day with the Phils, and they go home and watch the fireworks in the lovely city of Philadelphia, the birthplace of a nation, the cradle of liberty.
And in 2026, I cannot wait to watch those fireworks in Philadelphia.
Nonsense.
I cannot. I'm waiting for a special one. That's what I'm doing here. I'm waiting for a special. I'm waiting for a special July 4th. 250 years.
And you are going to see fireworks tomorrow, though.
Probably. If they're out, I'll be, oh, wow, look at that.
If you're at Keenan's, you'll look over and maybe
I don't know.
Look up.
We got about 2 minutes here to discuss this. I'm going to go at some point this week, and I'm sure to Keenan's because I'm in Wildwood. I'm a Wildwood guy.
Yes,
Most weekends I'm down there. I find myself there. The going out on July 4th, to me, I might not do it.
Okay.
Tonight, if you want to find me, I'll be in Avalon.
Okay.
I have a friend up there, and I'm going to go there. But I'm going to go at some point this weekend, but I don't know if July 4th specifically.
So
There's Friday night, 4th of July.
Down. Well, I think that's a little bit more telling about why you haven't seen the fireworks in the city. You just don't like being around people.
Well, that's a cold take. That's a cold take. That's not true about me. If it was up to me, I'd be out and amongst the people 24 hours a day.
I see you on Wednesdays. I know.
Yeah, but I just, to me, going out the Friday night 4th, it feels like an all-time, just massive scene where I'm going to be waiting in line for a while.
Okay.
And, I feel also, I love my family. Love to spend time with my family.
That's not.
They're all going to be asleep by 9 o'clock.
Exactly.
For sure.
That's not
It's. I'm looking forward to seeing them, though. Looking forward to going down there and enjoying a couple days. So, also, quick question. Am I going to enjoy any of the features on pregame on Friday, Saturday? Is there anyone that I might get to see?
The features you might get to see?
Just a person that might pop up on the...
Oh, there might be.
All right. Just curious.
Sorry, I didn't know where we were driving that train. The train rather.
All right.
Yes.
Be
you
excited
might.
to tune in the pregame.
I have to figure out which day it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll trade text on that one.
Yeah.
Excited about that. But, Amy, thank you so much.
This was so much fun. I'll be back on Monday and Tuesday with you.
Yes. I'll be back on Tuesday. Brendan Gunn will be here till the end of time. Thank you for all your work here today.
Well done on the signs, too.
Yes. Good luck tomorrow in the early morning, and good luck getting down to the shore on July 4th, just like what I'll be doing, but apparently I'm the villain for doing it.
I've seen the fireworks.
Yeah, we got to get out for TV, all right? Thanks to everyone that called, tweeted, checked in alongside Brendan Gunn. I'm Ray Dunn. I'll talk to you again real soon right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.